and they're playing right into his hand. Here's what I like about Trump. I have no clue if he's going to win. I'm not even sure if I'm for him. But the refreshing thing about him is he just doesn't care. He tells you like it is. He calls it like he sees it. You either support him or you don't. Either way, I don't think he cares. That's refreshing.
I think it is too. And Dominic, thanks very much for your commentary. You know, this gets back to what we started our conversation with. It is refreshing. We are hearing people of the Republican Party and the political right in the United States saying this candidacy has legs. There's no doubt about it, sir.
Even my students are interested. And my students are interested. There's something going on.
Well, and what I'm trying to figure out is okay, so does he indeed have a chance?
He does, but it's a distant chance. And the reason why is that he has to sort of make up with the Republicans, as much as they may not like it. If he gets in the general election, if he gets the nomination, he's going to have to do, in a sense, what a more liberal, wishy-washy candidate like Senator McCain or Mitt Romney was not able to do, and that is appeal to a different part of the party. I've always believed that a lot of conservatives stayed home in 2008 and 2012. They stayed home. But this time it may be the opposite. They may show up. The Tea Party people, the hard right-wing Republicans, may show up for Donald Trump if he gets the nomination. But his problem is then he's going to go after, he has to bring in the other group of Republicans who might be very aggravated, the more establishment Republicans. And on the other hand, there's another group out there who probably has never voted very much, never participated, and that's his group. And if he can hold on to him and bring him in, he has an outside chance of becoming president of the United States.
It would be unbelievable, and
really
I think
would be.
it would also be without precedent, would it not? I mean,
that's right. And and a good running mate. The running mate now has become very, very important. And the two running mates I keep looking at are Dr. Ben Carson, another non-politician, and Carly Fiorina, another non-politician. And if he brings one or two of those, this is very premature, some of those onto the ticket, that may be very interesting. Two non-politicians running against Hillary, and who knows if it's really going to be Hillary Clinton or not.
I don't know. I don't think she's going to make it. I do not believe she's going to make it.
It may be Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Joe Biden may come in.
Yeah. If I had to pick a Democrat presidential nominee tonight, it would be Joe Biden.
I think he's mulling it over, and I think what he's thinking about is, number one, can I raise the money? How much lower are Hillary Clinton's poll ratings going to go? So, and then he does his own internal polling. How much is going to come to me?
Professor, I adore having you on the air, and I always look forward to these conversations. I learn so much.
I'm a big talker. I love it very much.
I really enjoy your time, and thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Alan Sachs on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer. Stick around. Tea Party firebrand Katrina Pearson is next on the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Howdy, folks. Crazy Gun Dealer here, and I still have a few of those Taurus 380 pocket pistols for only $179 with ammo purchase. So hurry on in here and get you one while they still last. If you're a new shooter or an old hand, I promise you're going to feel right at home at the Crazy Gun Dealer. We're going to treat you with good old Texas hospitality and make certain you know you're appreciated when you buy a gun from us. Every gun comes with free CHL classes, free lifetime warranty, free range membership, and free test firing with purchase. And if we don't already have the best gun price you found, we'll beat any price anywhere, gun to gun, because nobody wants your gun business more than the Crazy Gun Dealer. That's the Crazy Gun Dealer in Alvarado. To follow us, text CRAZY to 24587. Visit crazygundealer.com or just give us a call at 855-329-4860. 855-875-3867. That's 855-329-GUNS.
All offers and promotions subject to change or restrictions. See store for complete details.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 855-875-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fix at 2.99% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket, but you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 855-875-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, West Suite 200, Orange, California 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Subject to loan underwriting. Rates may change without notice. NMLS number 128231.
That's 855-875-CASH.
We're speaking with Craig Powers, president of Power Jack Foundation Repair. And Craig, look, there's that big yellow thing in the sky.
That's right, Steve. You know, it looks like the sun is out and we're finally in for one of our hot Texas summers. You know, I have customers calling me all the time saying, Craig, what do I do now after all these rains? And I tell them, get your foundation inspected now. As the soils dry out, foundations are going to start to move again. You want to catch it now before the problem gets worse, because now it'll be less expensive and less extensive to fix the problem.
So, Craig, are you saying that as the heat continues and the ground dries out, that your foundation problems, if you have any, they could get worse and worse?
Yes, that's correct. I wish I had a magic pill to make foundations stop moving, but unfortunately I don't. So now is the time to get it checked.
So give Craig a call today. Check it out before it becomes a bigger problem. Power Jack Foundation Repair, all of their work is guaranteed for the life of your home. Give them a call today, 866-638-PJFR. That's 866-638-7537, or go to pjfr.com.
Hi, this is Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report for my good friend Walt Parker. Walter, you know, you picked kind of a silly name for a very serious business.
Yes, I hear that a lot, JD. But our goal is to allow our customers to not get sick when they are investing. We give them the education they need to make confident decisions about their future. Here are my personal top 5 reasons how investingmakesmesick.com can help you. 1, there's more to investing than stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. 2, every client is important to us. 3, knowledge is power, and we can provide that knowledge. 4, every investor is different, and we have many different options for each person. 5, we value your time and offer our We Come to You service.
What are your top 5 reasons for investing? Schedule an appointment with Walt Parker and his team at 972-463-3833. That's 972-463-3833. Or check out their all-new website at investingmakesmesick.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. Member of FINRA SIPC. Investment subject to suitability. Risk and expenses may apply. Investingmakesmesick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Now, the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. One of the things that I should have brought up with the eminent Dr. Alan Sachs, when race was brought into the question, we found out today that according to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, apparently our voter ID law is discriminatory, and they have overturned that law. Obviously, this is going to be a big topic. We will talk a lot more about this in the balance of the week. But this is something that we're going to have to deal with as the federal government continues to insinuate itself in the politics and the way politics is handled in Texas. This is purely political. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything real. It is purely political because if indeed the Democrats can get a hold of New York, California, and Texas, we will have another 40-year run of Democrats in power in the United States. and we simply we can't put up with it. At least that's my opinion. If you have a different one, join us, 866-660-5759. Joining us now to discuss the moving forward of the Republican national nominees, the candidates for the Republican nomination, is Tea Party star Katrina Pearson. Katrina, welcome back to the Wells Report. Good to have you here.
Hey, great to be with you tonight.
It's awfully nice of you to be able to fit us in with all of your appearances on Fox News and CNN and all the others.
A lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Exciting things are happening.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed they are. So talk to us a little bit about this debate. What are your first blush ideas about what's going to happen tomorrow night, both at the 5 o'clock debate, that's 5 o'clock Eastern time, and then the 8 o'clock debate Central time, that's going to be happening in prime time. What are your thoughts about that debate?
Well, I think the first debate at 5 o'clock, you're going to have the B team, which is what I'm calling them right now, trying to figure out who's going to come out of that and then replace whoever fails out of the A team. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I personally would have liked to have seen Carly Fiorina on stage with all these guys, but she's got to do a little bit more work to get her name out there. But the questions that they're going to be asked to these folks are going to be tough. I mean, this isn't one of those debates that CNN has where they have friends on the other side. I mean, these are going to be tough questions to these candidates, so they're really going to have to bring it. And you know what? I think they're going to A team and B team alike because this election is just too important.
I agree 100%. I am very frustrated with the Republican Party insofar as Carly Fiorina, who is the perfect opportunity. She carries with her the opportunity for the Republican Party to stop shooting itself in the foot with women by actually having somebody on the main stage in the main debate to discuss, to put a female face on the Republican Party. Carly Fiorina could not be a better candidate for that. And why she is, a part of the B team just absolutely infuriates me.
Well, I mean, it's to be expected. I mean, you recall I ran for Congress, and I have, since then made friends with other women who have run for elected office in congressional races as well as Senate races nationwide. And they've all said the same thing. The GOP isn't interested. None of these women were helped out by the party. None of these women were offered any resources or help or anything. The GOP has done nothing to help these women who aren't going to simply toe the party line. That's the difference. And I think Carly is just that way, which is another reason why we've got to help her get her voice out there. Here's what I think. I think a lot of those folks are going to hear from people tomorrow night during the 9 o'clock debate, and they're going to decide, you know what? I'm not too interested in these guys because, again, Kasich barely got in there because he just announced nobody really knows what he stands for, and we'll see how he fares. Chris Christie, not a conservative at all whatsoever.
Right.
And we're going to start to see those numbers change. And I think in the end, Carly, by her own hard work and her supporters, are going to get her in the next few debates.
Katrina Pearson is our guest. She has served as the steering committee member for the Dallas Tea Party, founder of the Garland Tea Party, joins us on the Wells Report for her thoughts and ideas about the Tea Party perspective on tomorrow night's debate. Or debates, as the case is. If you have a question or if you have a comment that you'd like to share with Katrina Pearson, please join us, 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Out of the current crop of candidates, which, and aside from Carly Fiorina, who I believe really needs to have a major voice in this campaign, I want to know what are the other candidates, who are the other candidates that the Tea Party considers to be the exact right candidate for 2016?
So I think there's a combination of candidates. Everyone knows there is no monolithic voting bloc in the Republican Party with the exception for the establishment. And I think you're looking at a lot of people paying close attention to Ben Carson, paying close attention to Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and ironically enough, Donald Trump. I mean, he's taking center stage tomorrow night. I'll be there watching. I'll be on Fox News in the spin room post-debate analysis. And I think those four individuals are really going to basically spread the stage as to what the base is looking for. Between those four individuals, you will be hearing from what the base wants to hear, and everybody else is just going to be having their controlled talking points, their consultant written point by point, and they're all going to try to have their one-liners. But I think really what the establishment is wondering is Do we or don't we go after Trump? Because everybody knows when you poke the bear, he pokes back.
Yeah, indeed they do. Katrina Pearson, our guest on 660 AM, The Answer. Let's talk a little bit about these combinations because you hit on something that I've been talking about. There are combinations of candidates that create a stronger ticket, at least at this point, since we haven't really heard from these folks, that create a stronger ticket together than they do separately. For example, here's some of the thinking that I have. Tell me if you see any of this or whether I'm just full of it. The circumstance that I see, Katrina, is that I see that I think there's going to have to be a Hispanic on the ticket. And as far as I know, we have two. And if you are going to be able to appeal to us, Tea Party candidates, conservatives, then you're going to have a Tea Party solid candidate either at the top of the ticket with, say, for example, Marco Rubio, or you can have somebody who's more of a Tea Party candidate, say Donald Trump, and that you could put somebody like Ted Cruz together with them. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think you're right. And what Democrats have done so well in the past, what Republicans refuse to acknowledge, is that you cannot win unless you can turn out your base. Mitt Romney did not win because of Hispanics. He didn't win because of single women. He lost because his base didn't vote for him, and they still don't get it. So I think you're absolutely right. There's going to have to be a conservative on that ticket at the top or the bottom, and depending on who that person is at the top may determine the outcome for all of the base on whether they show up or not. Because I don't know about you, but I'm hearing people that will not pull the lever for Jeb Bush no matter what, and that's scary.
I don't know that it's scary at all. I mean, as far as I know, everything I needed to know about Jeb Bush, at least at the beginning of this, was settled by the Democrat fundraiser he was sitting in front of at Martha's Vineyard or in the Hamptons. Actually, it was the Hamptons. When that guy came out of the meetings and said, I want this guy to be the next Teddy Roosevelt. Well, everybody knows Teddy Roosevelt was a progressive, and you can have progressives in the Republican Party as well as the Democrat Party. It is an infra-government kind of group of people that really don't know party lines. And that would explain everything that I've heard from Jeb Bush, like, oh, I think President Obama's doing a great job, and there are a lot of things that I like about Obamacare, and on and on and on. And I'm sitting here going, you must be joking, Mr. Bush.
Well, it's not scary from our side. It's scary because that's how serious this is, and the establishment is ignoring the warning. That's what's so scary, is that they are willing to lose. They're willing to lose. They're willing to destroy the country because they can't get their way, and that's what I mean by it's pretty scary because that's how they are.
That I agree with 100%. Katrina Pearson, our guest, your questions, welcome, 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. There was another ticket that I was thinking about that I wanted to get your thoughts on. If indeed Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz could find themselves at the top of the ticket, they would have to pick Carly Fiorina. That would be an unbeatable ticket, would it not?
I think that would be a great ticket simply because she is a phenomenal communicator. She is amazing on the stuff. She's amazing in her interviews. You've seen her in the liberal media, and she handles it very well. She reminds me of Ted Cruz, the way she responds to some of those questions where they try to get her, and she handles them like a champ.
She does.
I think she'd be great at the bottom of any of those tickets.
I'd like to see Ted Cruz and Carly Fiorina. Marco Rubio really impressed me, and I'd like to ask you about this as well. When he showed up, his speech was perfect. I mean, it really spoke to me when he said, yesterday, a politician from yesterday brought up tactics and beliefs from yesterday to try to move the country forward. Well, I'm a candidate for today, and we are moving forward with new ideas and new ways of getting things done. I thought that was the most brilliant kickoff I have seen from any of the candidates so far.
No, it was amazing. And he's a very good communicator as well. The problem is we have all these people in office who keep saying things, who keep saying they want to change things. But their actions, they're just doing the same. They're following the Mitch McConnells. They're following the Jon-Davids. They're not really fighting, other than Senator Ted Cruz. I mean, that's one where no one can question whether or not he's serious about fighting. but all these other guys end up falling in line. That's why the rhetoric doesn't mean much anymore.
I agree 100% again. This is Katrina Pearson, our guest on 660 AM The Answer. Let me get to Steve in Garland. Steve, talk to us a little bit about your question. What do you have a question for with Katrina Pearson?
Well, Katrina, I would like to know from a Tea Party perspective what you think about Scott Walker.
All right.
Great question. So everybody sees Scott Walker as the big fighter, 3-time winner in a blue state, and all that's true. However, many of us on the ground who work with grassroots on the ground know that it was the legislators out in Wisconsin that forced that fight. He did not want that fight. They drug him into that fight kicking and screaming, and then he had to carry it across the line. However, he carried it across the line. But what we're going to see is a lot like Governor Rick Perry. Scott Walker has a ton of those slush funds. He's been selling off things. And what hasn't happened in Texas that is happening in Wisconsin is that he's actually using his force to keep people quiet. I don't know if anybody's heard about this yet, but there were people who were in political opposition to Scott Walker, and their homes were raided in the middle of the night. So we're looking at some very serious accusations coming out of the grassroots in Wisconsin. So I think we should stay tuned and hold our powder dry before we go out there in full force for him.
Yeah. Thanks very much. I appreciate that, Steve. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Talk to us about Rick Perry. Arguably, Rick Perry has hit several conservative issues right out of the park, starting first with border security.
What border security?
Well, the border security, Operation Strong Safety was the quintessential move to do something about the border. And I think
that's why I say what border security, because when Rick Perry made this statement, and he called out the National Guard and said, "Oh, we're going to secure the border," but there was a little half truth in that, because he only sent the National Guard to the bottom tip at the Rio Grande Valley section, leaving Laredo and all the others wide open, which is where it's the worst. Those are not being protected. As of this day, they're not secure. And Brandon Darby and Breitbart Texas cover this all the time, just how bad our border is. But it was all for show. When Governor Perry has been governor for a decade, and he's just now taking steps to do something about the border, it's kind of hard to believe anything he says about his intentions.
The only thing I can say about that is that nobody else has done anything. Nobody.
That's right.
I mean, he's
right.
the only guy that has done anything. Also, he has a pretty good economic record. What about that?
Well, Texas is doing well, particularly on paper. I will say on the economic side, there's a question with several of his slush funds, like the Emerging Technology Fund, the Enterprise Fund, where you had him give tax dollars to his buddies and corporations to create quote-unquote jobs. They would create these jobs, companies would close, and they never took the jobs off the books. So even that's questionable at this point, particularly when he ran in 2012. You can go back and find that Susan Combs, the comptroller, had to recertify revenue in order to make the books look good for him to run last time. So even that's questionable, and I think a microscope needs to be put on all of the governors to find out the details.
Okay, who's going to win the debate tomorrow? Who do you think is going to win, and who do you want to win?
Well, there's no question. Senator Cruz is going to do very well. I think this is going to be his natural element. I think he's going to shine, and I hope he wins the debate. And really, I'm rooting for Donald Trump to prove everybody wrong. I mean, he's very serious about running for president this time, and I want him to do well, and I want him to succeed as well. But
all right, Katrina, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on. Have a great day tomorrow on CNN or Fox News or wherever else you show up next. Katrina Pearson on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer.
For almost 2 decades, financial advisor and educator Rick Poston with Empowered Wealth Financial Services has provided peace of mind to thousands who see or hear him in the media or read his work. Rick has been chosen by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of the top 20 game-changing financial advisors in the country. A fan of Rick's profound teaching, Brian Tracy, world-renowned business leader, speaker, and best-selling author, has asked Rick to co-author his newest book entitled The Winning Way, where Rick will share with his fans some of the principles that allow Rick's clients to continue on their winning way. If you're looking to break away from that same old investment plan that has provided you with one too many disappointments, stay tuned to 660 AM The Answer every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for the most educational hour on financial talk radio with Empowered Wealth Radio. live or call 469-361-4020.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about 1,000 off, abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Hello?
Hi, is this Amy?
Speaking.
This is Steve from LifeLock, calling about your response to the alert we sent for a credit application at a store in Portland.
Yes? That wasn't me. I'm in Tampa.
I understand. I'm going to work with you to help you resolve this, okay?
Thanks, Steve. I feel better already.
LifeLock detects threats to your finances, alerts you to danger, and helps restore your identity if anything's found. And with LifeLock Ultimate Plus, you get protection for your bank accounts, investments, even the equity in your home. Look, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor transactions at every business, but LifeLock Ultimate Plus provides comprehensive identity theft protection. Visit LifeLock.com now and enter promo code AWARE or call and mention AWARE to save 10% on your LifeLock Ultimate Plus membership. Call 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with the Reliant Air Conditioning Consumer Update. Today's topic is the sales technician. Most companies use their service techs to sell new equipment on service calls, and the more equipment they sell, the more commission they make. But would you buy a new car from your mechanic? The fact is, the guy you're trusting to repair your system actually makes more money if he can sell you a new one. At Reliant Air Conditioning, you get a certified service technician, not a salesman. Our techs don't work on commission, and they don't sell equipment. If you need a new system, we're the only company in town that tells you to get 2 other bids and then call us. Now you can save over $3,500 per system with Carrier's Cool Cash. So call 2 other companies, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio, 660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report, must-hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report, and so normally when you go to, say, for example, a court, you are tried by 12, you're tried by 12, right? Well, imagine the surprise of someone in a Dallas courthouse the other day when they were going to be tried by 54, because there would be, there are 54 people on the jury. Well, actually not 54 people on the jury. There were only 11 plus 43, which is 54. And I did that all in my head without the music. Ha 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 ha. The reason I'm Saying that is because former President George W. Bush surprised a Dallas courthouse. He showed up as a member of the jury pool. He received a summons. He sat through jury selection for a case in Judge Eric Moy's court in the 14th Civil District at the George Allen Courts building in Dallas, according to Freddie Ford, the president's spokesman. Surprisingly, he was not picked to serve as a juror. He sat there for about 3 hours, posed for photos with his fellow jury candidates, judges, and other staff court before leaving with his security detail. So there you go. Good to have George W. Bush living in Dallas as one of our neighbors, and I think he wanted to make that absolutely clear. Good for him, huh? Makes you want to go and take part in the jury process, right? No. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy, here with the Big Boat and Outdoor Show. It's boating time, folks, so don't forget to tune in to the only boating talk show on 660 AM The Answer every Saturday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site with thousands of boats for sale, or list your boat for free on BoatSelect.com. I know you have questions about your boat or one you're buying. Email those questions to me at BigBoatShow@yahoo.com.
Finally, the rain appears to be over and summer is upon us. The recent rains have caused the clay soil to expand and raised some homes with foundation problems, making them appear to be fixed. I'm Tom Kidd, engineering graduate of Texas A&M and owner of Structured Foundation Repairs. Our number is 972-484-1200. Listen, heavy rain swelling the clay soil and raising homes with foundation problems is like pumping air into a tire with a slow leak. It may look like the tire is fixed, but it is still leaking air and will eventually go flat again. If you think this might be happening with your home, call Structured Foundation Repairs today for a free, comprehensive evaluation of your foundation. We'll let you know if you have a foundation problem or if you're just experiencing normal seasonal movement. We'll also check to see if you have a drainage problem around your home and make recommendations if the drainage should be improved. We're fully insured and our peers come back by a lifetime transferable warranty. So if you have questions about your foundation or think you might have a drainage problem, call Structured Foundation Repairs today at 972-484-1200 or click structuredfoundation.com.
Pop quiz for all business owners. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, which one of these can you lose? Your home, your car, or your life savings? The answer? All three. Because if you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued, it's you too, which means you could lose everything. Once business owners realize the risk of not being incorporated, they usually scramble to incorporate or form an LLC. To make it quick and easy, Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners, so you can incorporate in just 10 minutes. For your free 10-minute incorporation guide, call now, 1-800-733-1035. Protect your financial future. At Incorporate.com, they don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide. 1-800-733-1035. Hurry while supplies last. 1-800-733-1035. That's 1-800-733-1035.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. Police say he was armed with a pellet gun, a hatchet, and pepper spray. Vincente David Montano, the man shot and killed by police at a movie theater in suburban Nashville.
The suspect raised his weapon toward that officer, pulled the trigger. That officer then fired on the suspect.
Don Aaron with the Nashville PD. Authorities say Montano had been committed 4 times. No one else was seriously hurt. Another push by President Obama to convince Congress to approve the Iran nuclear deal.
I've had to make a lot of tough calls as president. But whether or not this deal is good for American security is not one of those calls.
Many Republicans remain skeptical. Former President George W. Bush won't be serving on a Texas jury. After showing up this morning for jury duty in Dallas, he was dismissed. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM, The Answer. Dennis Prager believes the left will leave no stone unturned.
How impossible it has become to avoid leftism. There is nothing that is freed from their tentacle. They must intrude everywhere. The arrogance of people on the left is so deep because they know better.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
The Good Contractors List is a free service designed to protect you. We meet all of our home service contractors face to face and feel so confident in our final choices that we back their work with a $10,000 guarantee. We go the extra mile in our interview process to make sure that the contractor is not only honest in quality, but able to offer the most affordable and fair rates. For instance, how do you pick who you call for air conditioning? Did you know that the air conditioning industry is commonly known for misdiagnosis and unneeded upselling? The higher their overhead, the more money they need to stay in business. So they flash tempting offers to get their foot in the door, and the sales game is on. The air conditioning companies we choose are simply stable and proven companies that offer the highest quality at fair and honest rates. And to protect you, they've all agreed to do an absolutely free second opinion if you're being told that you have to replace your air conditioning unit. If you need AC or any other type of home service, visit thegoodcontractorslist.com first.
Contractors List.
Frank, I really think we need an American Home Shield home warranty.
But we have homeowners insurance.
I'm worried about our home appliances and systems breaking down, like our air conditioner. Homeowners insurance doesn't cover any of that. A home warranty does.
But homeowners insurance covers stuff that might happen, like a meteor crashing into our house or a Bigfoot attack.
A Bigfoot attack?
There's a Bigfoot outside now.
That's the neighbor's dog.
Sounds like a Bigfoot.
Homeowners insurance can cover the things that might happen, like Bigfoot destroying your home. But an American Home Shield home warranty covers what will happen, like your home systems and appliances breaking down. Protect your budget from covered breakdowns of up to 21 major home systems and appliances, your air conditioner, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9517.
Pretty sure that's a Bigfoot.
For valuable free information about an American Home Shield home warranty, call 1-800-900-9517. That's 1-800-900-9517. 1-800-900-9517.
I'm Steve Sidkowski, a former Wall Street insider. I'm holding a book that will show you investing strategies which could help you earn the kind of money you've always dreamed about. And right now, I'm giving this book away for free. So who needs to read it? If you're in the middle of your career and worry you'll never have enough money to retire, you need to read this book. If you're already retired and your income isn't enough, you need to read this book. And if you don't want to be selling burgers at 80, you need to read this free book. It includes the strategy I use to make a 72% profit on a trade where the stock only moved 12%. You'll need at least $1 million to ever fully retire. If you're behind on that goal, you really need to read Trade Like the Pros. And you can for free by calling 1-800-708-4557. Skeptical that it will deliver results? It's a free book, so what do you have to lose? Find out how at 1-800-708-4557. 1-800-708-4557.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
If you or someone you care for are using painful urinary catheters, Medical Direct Club can help. There's a new catheter that hurts less, and you can get a free sample with free shipping by calling now. Pain and urinary tract infections can be avoided if you're using urinary catheters. The new disposable catheters from Medical Direct Club hurt less due to an incredible new design that reduces pain by gliding easily and effortlessly. Old catheters can scrape and cut, causing pain and infection. These new catheters from Medical Direct Club are changing the lives of people who use urinary catheters. Medicare and your insurance will pay for up to 200 of these new catheters per month at little or no cost to you. Medical Direct Club handles all of the paperwork with your doctor and includes lifetime free shipping when you join. Membership and a free sample are free, so call Medical Direct Club now. 1-800-600-6144. That's 1-800-600-6144. End painful cathing today. Call 1-800-600-6144.
Hey, does the idea of having your home sold on time without hassle and for top dollar, does that seem unrealistic to you? Hey, Dallas, it's your friend Sean Hannity, one real estate agent to sell your home guaranteed. That's Josh DeShong of Josh DeShong Real Estate at Keller Williams. Josh averages hundreds of local, national, and international buyers every single week. Now, that means your home sells on time at a price that you agreed to, guaranteed, or Josh will buy it. Josh's clients voted, and both D Magazine and Texas Monthly ranked him as the best real estate agent in Dallas. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Josh in DFW. And if I lived in Dallas and needed my home sold, guess what? I'd call Josh DeShong, and you should too. Call Josh now at 972-325-6644 or go online at getsold.net. That's 972-325-6644 or getsold.net and start packing.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Want to thank Trina Pearson. Also want to thank our other guest today, the eminent Professor Alan Sachs, for joining us as we have a little bit of a preview of tomorrow night's debate on 660 AM The Answer. We can hardly wait to see what's going on. It'll be a different world when that debate is over. And by the way, I mean, you know, once again, I have to point out, it has to be pointed out that Fox News really screwed us over here. I mean, like I said, we've got Mike Huckabee, who is a former governor of Arkansas. Okay, he's on the A crew. When we have a governor of the state of Texas who has the best economic record, the best record on the border. He's got the best story to tell among Republican governors is Rick Perry, not Scott Walker, not John Kasich, Rick Perry. And yet, Mike Huckabee has a seat on that table in the A debate. Well, and that's craziness. And also thing number two, Carly Fiorina is a Republican female candidate that's got it. She has it. And the Republican Party is absolutely ignoring her. And it's ridiculous. They've got to stop this. This is a huge mistake. It's just absolutely nuts. Cowgirl in Arlington, Texas. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Hey, JD, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, yes, I was just thinking about all the level of ruthlessness, lawlessness, the level of ego and arrogance that has made Obama what he is and has been so successful. He's decisive. He's driven. He's all of the things that he did. His agenda has been fulfilled. But he's taken a wrecking ball and bulldozers to the American. So with a pen and a phone, arrogance, pen and a phone. Who do you want out of these candidates that has the same level of, pardon my French, you know, the balls, the drive, the wherewithal, the attitude, the street fighter, the step out of my way, we're going to get it done. The pen and the phone guy that just says, okay, I can use the same level of force to rip out the deal with Iran and defund it. You know, I can rip that out just as hard and fast as you put it in. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, indeed. I you know, my situation is that that we have to have better, and I don't know that we're going to be able to get better with the Republican Party leadership that we currently have.
I won't vote for Bush. I will not vote for Bush, and he's just Hillary. He's Hillary. So I personally, I do like the street fighter in Trump. I like the authenticity, and you know what he's saying. He's not going to get into your pocket. I think the guy's straightforward. I think you're going to see a different candidate going in than you did the guy thinking. I think he thought he was going to bomb the first couple of weeks. You know, who knows? But
well, once a bomb thrower, always a bomb thrower. I just don't know whether or not he's serious now.
Oh, I think we'll see real soon.
Well, I think we will. And Cowgirl, thanks very much. I appreciate it. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. In the past couple of days, we have seen people taking shots at our military personnel in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And we woke up today to hear a story of a man armed with a hatchet, a fake bomb, and a pistol It has come down that he had been committed for mental illness 4 times. And what we have here is we have a guy who I believe decided to commit suicide by cop today. He opened fire at a Tennessee movie theater. He opened fire at a police officer. He was armed with a hatchet, and he had this fake bomb. Fire department spokesman Brian Haas and 3 people, or said 3 people, were treated for exposure to pepper spray. One of those had a superficial wound that could have been caused by the hatchet the man was carrying. No one was taken to a hospital. The gunman was reportedly identified as a 51-year-old man from the Nashville area. Police spokesman Don Aaron says he was wearing a surgical mask when he unleashed pepper spray inside the theater, showing Mad Max. Aaron said an officer came to the theater, was fired on by the suspect. The officer shot back and then backed off. After that, a SWAT team came in. There was another exchange of gunfire. It was protracted. The suspect was then found dead. He left 2 backpacks that were being examined by hazardous device officers. As I said, one of those turned out to be a fake bomb. He had mental illness issues, and it looks to me like he was only interested in engaging police officers. This was in Antioch, which is just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, we are in a position where, once again, these people are picking gun-free zones. And gun-free zones are just plain dangerous. They are. They're just plain dangerous. And we need to stop it. Now, we have a choice. What they're talking about doing, once again, the first thing that came out of this today was you got to have a metal detector when you go in to see a movie. I don't know about you, but you know what? I have a beautiful television at home. The color on my Pioneer Elite plasma is as good as it gets. It's a 50-inch television. A lot of people are laughing at me. What's the matter, man? Well, why aren't you getting like a bigger one? I can't possibly imagine a bigger television. Anyway, the thing is beautiful, and to be perfectly honest with you, all I have to do is wait until the Blu-ray disc comes out. Okay, that's all I have to do. And oh, by the way, I can sit there in my house with my Beretta 92FS compact right there beside me.
Well, and now, like, your cable companies are saying that their on-demand service is offering movies the same day they come out in the theater.
Well, and the thing about it is that what are you missing? I mean, I don't know whether you've actually listened to one of these home theater systems, but that Bose home theater system, it's as good as any theater that you're going to find. I mean, it's expensive.
Popcorn at home.
Yeah, you can make popcorn at home. You know, you can throw Coca-Cola on the floor and get that, that kind of sticky feeling that you get when you walk. You know, you can get that at home. I mean, sometimes you don't even have to throw Coke on the floor. It's just okay. Well, maybe that's just my house. Anyway, I mean, I've had parties at my house, and you know this to be true, where the floor was sticky afterwards. I'm just saying.
I don't know that.
Yes, you do. Swilling booze. I'm kidding.
But you don't have to use math for your change.
Yeah. And yes, and Magic Matt Swinney points out that when I go to the movie theater, I have to look perplexed as I try to figure out whether or not I've been given the correct change. You know what this is, right? This is punishment for getting a math problem correct last hour. That's why we're dealing with this now.
Actually, it was last night.
Huh?
It was last night.
No. I got one right today. You weren't even paying attention.
Oh, yes, I was.
See, obviously you were. Yeah. So what we have here is we have people that are exploiting gun-free zones, and we have to stop it. And we have to stop it post-haste. You know, the greatest military on the planet belongs to the United States of America. And I got to be perfectly honest with you. The next time somebody goes to a training some sort of training base or some kind of military installation and opens fire, we need to see some of that money that they use to train the world's greatest military put to use. And whoever tries that needs to be at the bottom of a smoking hole in the earth. And that'd take less than 30 seconds. Now, I'm not exactly sure that you want everybody on high alert all the time. But I got to be honest with you. These people are not going to stop this. There's no reason for them to. This guy was wandering around for hours before the actual gunfight. He was wandering around for hours. Just wandering around with his hatchet and his backpacks. Apparently, he was a homeless guy that was known to the community, known to the little neighborhood there. And he hung around for hours, waited for his moment, sprayed a bunch of pepper spray around so a lot of people would call the cops. When the cops came up, he opened fire, and they killed him dead. To me, it's suicide by cop. But I got to be honest with you. A lot of people could have been badly killed, as if there was a good way to get killed. They could have been badly killed if anything had gone wrong here. So kudos to the Antioch Police Department and their SWAT team for taking this guy out without getting anybody else hurt. Let me talk to Daniel in Dallas. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hello.
Hey, JD. It's been a good while since I spoke with you.
Is it something I said?
Actually, no. I remembered. Oh, wait. I'm off tonight. I've actually been working graveyard shifts, so I've been working during your show. And you've been touching on something me and my friends have been talking about lately, and that's the no firearms zone.
They ought to be illegal.
Yeah, I don't go to Target anymore.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere where I cannot have my lovely Glock 19 strapped to my waist for my protection.
You can say anything you want to about Glocks. Nice pistol. They fire well. They're handy. They're perfectly priced. Everybody in the world speaks Austrian. Glock. I mean, you can say all you want to, but you can't say that it's lovely.
For what I've carried in the past,
yeah.
For the price point, it's probably one of the better ones.
I'm not saying it's not a great pistol. What I'm saying is it's not lovely. It's a square, ugly pistol. They're ugly pistols.
But like I said, I don't go anywhere. I don't go to movie theaters anymore.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, why would you go? Why would you do that if the price is not only your admission, but the price is being defenseless? And you and I are the only people, I mean, plus every other law-abiding citizen in North Texas, we're only law-abiding people will actually follow those rules.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I work at a Verizon. I can't enter the building with my phone or my firearm.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. I'll be the first person to get to my vehicle because I park right by the front door.
Well, welcome to the club. I mean, welcome to the club, Daniel. And good to have you back, by the way. I missed you. But yeah, man, I don't go anywhere without doing a little thinking first. All right. One of these days, we'll figure out how I'll figure out a way to teach you about something called a threat axis. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, we're in a position here where we live in a different world. And when seconds count, police are only minutes away. This guy was perfectly willing to wait around until the police got there because he didn't want to shoot himself. He didn't have the guts to kill himself. But what he thought he would do is he would engage some police officers who were gladly willing to take care of his problem for him. 866-660-5759. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Have you thought about being right smack dab in the middle of an active shooter scenario? More about that's coming up next on 660 AM The Answer.
If you're thinking about new windows for your home, here's what you have to consider. A quality-minded company that's been in business for a long time that'll be here if you need them in the future. That offers several options for you to choose from with a good warranty and a fair price. Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling, and I'm happy to say my company meets all those requirements. We've been installing new windows in Texas homes for over 21 years. Our restoration windows with their fiber core frames are 8 times stronger than hollow core vinyl and twice as strong as any composite frame. The exterior can be finished to match any color Sherwin-Williams offers, and we have 27% more glass area, so you don't lose near the visibility you do with other window brands. We also offer 100% financing to fit almost any budget. If you call now for your free estimate, I'm offering a 20% discount on your complete window and door project. Of course, your price is good for 30 days, so you have time to think it over or shop around. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095, or visit us online at statewide-remodeling.com.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 855-875-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fixed at 2.99% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket, but you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 855-875-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, West Suite 200, Orange, California 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Subject to loan underwriting. Rates may change without notice. NMLS number 128231.
That's 855-875-CASH.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at ViaScan of Las Colinas. We're always concerned about heart disease and cancer, and we should be. You ever hear those stories about the first sign that somebody had of heart problems when they died of a heart attack? The first evidence of any kind of cancer was after it was too big to be operable. Early detection is everything. Information is power, and honestly, sometimes information is survival. This is what ViaScan of Las Colinas is all about. ViaScan of Las Colinas. My friend John Duncan and the gang with the body scan, the well-view scan, they call it, all the vital organs there between the shoulder and the pelvis, making sure there's no heart plaques or blockages, no little cancer spots that could rise up and take you down. This is affordable, preventive healthcare. It is not uncomfortable. It is not claustrophobic. It's fantastic. I love it, and I love the information. It's good to know what's going on inside your body. Be ViaScan certain. 972-739-2840. 972-739-2840, or just Google ViaScan.
At Arizona State University, we believe in giving you everything you need to learn to thrive. So it's good to know the experts and college reviewers agree. U.S. News & World Report names ASU the second most innovative school in the country. The Wall Street Journal says ASU is 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates. The esteemed Princeton Review ranks ASU in the top 15% of America's four-year colleges as a leader in undergrad education. This is a university that empowers you to truly thrive. Arizona State University Online gives you the exact same curriculum, identical degree, and access to the same prestigious faculty as on-campus students. You can choose from over 100 degree programs, all enhanced by our innovative online learning technologies. For more information, call 1-800-600-6431. U.S. News & World Report ranked us in the top 10 for earning an online degree. All these high marks should give you confidence in your big plans. Learn to thrive with ASU Online. Call 1-800-600-6431. That's 1-800-600-6431.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7987. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7987. 800-481-7987. That's 800-481-7987.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report is on 660 AM. The Answer.
Have you ever wondered what it might be like to be going to a movie theater right here in North Texas? And suddenly one of these creepazoids decides that, well, today you get to see what it looks like when the wolf comes running into the flock. Well, if you have thought about that and you wonder just exactly what am I supposed to do in that situation, I'm sitting here in a theater, and the ones that I see around North Texas absolutely forbid anybody to show up with their CHLs. Whether you've got a permit or not, no weaponry. Well, why would I go into a situation where I was absolutely defenseless? And where I would be in a situation where when seconds count, police are only minutes away. Well, stick around, because coming up at 9:35, Rod Fullenwider is going to be joining us. He is a spokesman for Danger Zone 2. That's an active shooter seminar. He's going to be talking to us a little bit more about just exactly what you are supposed to do and what you are not supposed to do when you're sitting there in the Cinemark Theater and the wolf comes calling. So stick around for that. That's coming up. By the way, we've got some updates out of Nashville. There was a man with a gun and a hatchet, or it may have been a machete, for the showing of Mad Max Fury Road at the Carmike Hickory 8 Cinemas on Bell Road in Antioch, Tennessee. Don Aaron, a public information officer, said the gunman shot at a police officer, prompting him to return fire. As it turns out, the man was armed with a pellet pistol. A SWAT team moved in. They exchanged fire. Ultimately, the suspect exited out the back door of the theater. He was confronted by more police officers who shot and killed him. The actions of the first officer who went into the theater to engage the individual may well have saved multiple individuals inside that theater. This, according to Don Aaron. Remember, he is talking as if he was armed. This man was armed with an actual honest-to-goodness pistol. They don't know. We only found out just moments ago that it was actually a pellet pistol. The suspect, a 29-year-old man, not 51, was wearing a surgical mask. We got that right. Doused two women's faces with pepper spray, which is a joyous event. It's just like the best roller coaster ever that you've ever had. Nothing beats having pepper spray sprayed in your face. I recommend everyone doing it. Okay, I don't recommend everybody doing it because it's a colossal pain. But I have done it. I've lived through it. And all I can say is that no, you really don't want to go through it. If somebody reaches into their Sam Brown belt, which is what the police officers use, their belts are called Sam Browns, and pulls out pepper spray, just start saying yes. Hold your hands up. Start cooperating immediately. Just say yes, because you really don't want to be sprayed with that stuff. You really don't want to be sprayed with that. Anyway, this guy sprayed a bunch of people with it. Very thick chemical spray. It's a lot like the consistency of pepper spray. Anyway, gas masks were brought into officers as they attempted to get the person into custody. It could have been a lot worse. Aaron explained the first two officers were able to respond quickly because they were working a crash on Bell Road just beyond the cinema's property. Moviegoers ran to the officers, alerted them of the armed man's presence. Two backpacks were left inside the theater. The bomb squad was called into the scene. They turned out to be fake bombs, thankfully. The suspect was wearing one of the bags when he opened fire on the officer. We just want to make sure that there was no danger with those backpacks, according to the spokesman. Jeremy Cardoza works at the nearby Ford Ice Center, told the Tennessean the business was placed on lockdown with 25 people, mostly children, inside. We're waiting on instructions from police. We have not been contacted yet. We had a parent come in. They kind of just told us that there were a bunch of cops posted outside. Everybody did the right thing today, except the theater. Now, I'm not exactly sure whether this theater is a gun-free zone. I suspect that it is. We haven't been able to actually find out. All I can tell you is that Cinemark here in North Texas are gun-free zones. They are dangerous. Going to one of these movie theaters will get you killed under the right circumstances. What are you supposed to do? Stick around. Again, Rod Fullenwider joining us next on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about 1,000 off, abacusfoundationrepair.com.
Pop quiz for all business owners. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, which one of these can you lose? Your home, your car, or your life savings? The answer? All 3. Because if you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued, it's you too, which means you could lose everything. Once business owners realize the risk of not being incorporated, they usually scramble to incorporate or form an LLC. To make it quick and easy, Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners, so you can incorporate in just 10 minutes. For your free 10-minute incorporation guide, call now, 1-800-733-1035. Protect your financial future. At Incorporate.com, they don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide. 1-800-733-1035. Hurry while supplies last. 1-800-733-1035. That's 1-800-733-1035.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back. Because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Debt Relief Advocates now. 1-800-500-8980. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Debt Relief Advocates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
This plan is not insurance and does not meet minimum credible coverage requirements under the Affordable Care Act. This discount card program contains a 30-day cancellation and refund period. Administrator and benefits limited. Dallas, Texas, not available in all states.
Are your medical expenses and insurance costs out of control? There's a way to pay less for the healthcare you need. RealMedSavings.com. It's a membership like a club that lets you access huge networks of medical professionals for a whole lot less money. Real Med Savings even connects you with a board-certified physician anytime, 24 hours a day. The doctor will consult with you, diagnose the condition, and when necessary, call in the prescription. You pay nothing for the doctor's consultation because you're a member. You save money because we've already negotiated discounts on dental, vision, prescription drugs, and much more. Just go to RealMedSavings.com and learn all about it. Real Med Savings is not insurance. You just save real money on your health care for you and your whole family, and it costs less than $1 a day for the whole family. No salesperson will call, and there is no long-term commitment. Convenient, money-saving health care. RealMedSavings.com.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. His name is Rod Fullenweider. He's the spokesman for Danger Zone 2. That's an active shooter seminar. Rod spent 7 years in the Navy. Currently, he is the general manager for D&L Protective Services. Previously, he was the managing director for Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations, adult probation officer for the state of Texas. He's the author of A Manager's Guide to Workplace Violence. His specialties include internal theft, investigations, active shooter, workplace violence, and program development. He's got a bachelor's degree in criminal science, has completed graduate work in criminal psychology, and he has a seminar coming up Thursday, September 3rd, from 8:30 in the morning until 4 p.m. at the Eisman Center in Richardson, Texas. And if you value your life, you should go. All right. More details on how you can do that coming up in just a couple of seconds. Rod, thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report.
John, thanks for having me here.
Talk to us a little bit about, we show up today, you show up today in a situation where we have another guy going to another gun-free zone. And okay, so he was carrying a pellet pistol because he basically was committing suicide by cop. But that being said, we live in a different country now.
We do. And the reality of it is we're having an active shooter situation. We're averaging about one every 3 weeks in America. And that's not a good trend. We've watched the number go up just gradually every year since 2000. And so it's about one every 3 weeks. Last year's numbers are not combined totaled yet. We're really looking at probably 21 incidents last year alone across the country. If we look at since 2000, we're looking at over 1,000 people who have been either injured or killed as a direct result of active shooters in this country.
It's horrific, and like I said, it's the tempo is increasing. It's accelerating. By the way, like we did in the first hour of the Wells Report, this is your chance to call and ask an expert a question. You don't want to let this slip through your fingers. Rod Fullenwider is joining us, spokesman for Danger Zone 2, D&L Protective Services. You want to ask questions about this. Any question you have about what you do, what you should do in a situation where you're watching a movie, you're praying at church, you're doing anything, you're hanging out with some of your friends on a military installation. And we just covered the last three right there. So let's talk a little bit about this. Join us with your questions, 866-660-5759. Here's my question. CHL holder for well over a decade, almost two now. And first of all, when I first got it, I felt weird for about 15 minutes. And, it's like you don't get dressed without that part of your wardrobe. But a lot of people don't do that. Here I am, a CHL holder. I'm responsible. I've even trained myself. Okay, I put in the extra time. But I can't go into Cinemark with my pistol and be legal. What do we do about that?
I think there's several things we do. First, if we're going to go into a gun-free zone, we have to make a mental decision that if I'm not going to carry my weapon, how am I going to defend myself should a situation occur?
Right.
Should a gun be pulled and bullets begin to be fired by a bad guy, they don't care about a gun-free zone. Obviously, this guy didn't. Obviously, the one in Louisiana a few weeks ago didn't. Others don't. So we have to take that as reality. And then we have to make a decision in that time of crisis. Am I going to run away from this person? Am I going to hide someplace if I can't? Let's face it, it's a theater. I can only hide so many places.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Or am I in a position and have I made a decision that I'm going to fight this person? Am I going to step in and stop this person in whatever manner I can? Now, with that, a couple of things we need to think about. If our plan is in that situation, I'm going to wait for police to respond, and that's my solution. That's from an organizational standpoint.
Right.
Company says that's our plan. If that's the decision, what they have to understand is the average number of people who get killed in that situation, waiting for police to respond, is 11.3 people.
Wow.
In those situations where we, as those in the event, we decide that we're not going to accept that, and now we choose to fight back in whatever manner we can, it's 2.4 people that get dead.
Isn't that incredible?
So which group do you want to be in?
Exactly.
I like the second number better.
Yeah.
So we have to decide if we're going in that scenario and we're going to give up our weapon to support that. We have to make the decision. I think we go back to George Hennard in Killeen a number of years ago at Luby's.
Yeah.
Okay. The first victim there, the father of a lady, she was not only a CHL holder, she's one of the best shooters in America, but she was not allowed to have her weapon in there. So it was in the trunk of her car. And when George drove through his vehicle through the window and it landed on Dad, she was just mere feet away and could have shot him and taken him out. Expert shooter.
You're right.
But she complied with the sign. She complied with the law and said it's gun free. She left her gun. She's never done that in any place since then in her entire life.
Well,
she
you
says.
can't.
Right.
Well, you absolutely can't. And so what you do is you make the decision. So you decide if you're, and I, my life is replete with stories of where I have rushed in where fools fear to go. I really have to be honest with you. I run towards that, and I always have. I'm not. It's not aggrandizing. That has nothing to do with it. It's just who I am. So that being said, if you're going to engage those people, and say, for example, we're in a movie theater, how do you engage them? What do you do? Is there anything you can share with us tonight?
Well, I think what do you have available to engage them with? And you may have only just your hands and your feet. That may be all you have.
I'm pretty deadly with Raisinets.
Yeah.
I got a straw and Raisinets.
Well, and I think if we look at Louisiana, okay, one of the things that was done there brilliantly by one of the people in attendance of the movie is they pulled the fire alarm.
That was really good.
It was great. And what it did is we all know how to respond to a fire alarm. And we know when that goes off, we need to get out of Dodge.
Right.
The other thing that happened is it probably disrupted this man's psyche, and it disrupted the situation. And therefore, his brain went sort of in stall mode. What's going on? What's happening? That bought a few seconds. And in those few seconds, it allowed and could have allowed others to engage in any number of ways to answer your question.
Right.
Okay. So we need to be thinking on our feet. We need to be thinking on our toes. But I think it really starts well before that. And this is where any room we go into, in any situation whatsoever, we need to be very, very aware of everything that's going on around us. Who are the people around us?
Right.
And you know what? Call it what you will. I look at people, and if they look concerning to me, my eyes stay on them, and I don't let that go.
It's one of the things. That's one of the things that's really interesting. You feel it. You pick the right people. Your instincts are still good. Rod Fullenwider, our guest, spokesman for Danger Zone 2. That's an active shooter seminar you must attend. Thursday, September 3rd from 8:30 in the morning until 4 p.m. Get up early, eat your Wheaties, wear some comfortable clothing, get out there to the Eisman Center in Richardson, Texas. It'll cost you $50. Your life is easily worth that, and I'm not playing around here. If you want more information, go to 660amtheanswer.com right this minute. Just spend the money. Do it. Get your ticket. Get your significant other to get a ticket. If you've got an older kid, like I've got a guy, my son's, a teenager now, take him. But get out there and learn what Rod Fullenwider has to share with you. So let's talk a little bit about workplace violence, and let's talk a little bit about, what that means. And I'm not talking about Nidal Hassan, who that wasn't workplace violence. That was a terrorist in pursuit of jihad and martyrdom. And he was able to get to a place, another gun-free zone, and wreak havoc. So we're here at work. We're doing our job. What's next?
Situation occurs. And once again, we're back to, are we aware of our surroundings?
Right.
And have we already thought through what our decision is in time of crisis? That's really the issue here. Okay. Now, in the Nidal situation, one of the things we have to understand is that he probably would have continued on that nice little free $80,000 to $100,000 a year he was making, working for our government and working for our military. He'd have done fine with that, except that we were actually sending him to a war zone.
Right.
And he was like, I'm not going to do that. So instead, what does he do? He
brings the war home.
He brings it to us right here on our own ground. Problem, right? And second to that is now we have all these trained military personnel who they're not allowed to have a weapon there. So we have a whole bunch of things happening in that scenario that's not normal for the rest of us. When we look at the rest of us, we need to start thinking about things in our offices and in our work environment, whether we're in a cube world or we're in a private office world, whatever the scenario is. How can I secure myself? How can I be safe? What are the things I need to be safe? And part of that is we need to be thinking through this yesterday. We need to think through it today. At the time of crisis, that's not the time to think about it. And I think if you look at the active shooter seminar we're doing, this is, we're doing this as part of the FBI Citizens Academy Alumni Association. We've done 3 of these in the past. And this one is actually the second level. You don't have to have been to the other ones to, benefit from this.
Right.
But this is not our first rodeo on this. Okay. So we've been at this now about 2.5 years doing this training on an ongoing basis. With that, we want to equip people on the proper way to think through these scenarios. We want to give them examples of this is what we've seen in the past. Here are ways to handle that going forward if you find yourself in the same situation.
By the way, if you have a question, this is the time. 866-660-5759. Rod Fullenwater, our guest. Okay, so let's go through a situation. Let's just take one of those, and I'll be your student.
Okay, I think we can, if we want to take one of the most recent ones. Why don't we take we'll take 2. We'll take the situation in Louisiana. Let's take the situation also with the military in Tennessee.
Yep, Chattanooga.
Yeah, 2 very different scenarios, yet 2 very tragic situations. If we take the one at the movie theater, there's certain places in our society where we think we should be safe. A post office, a church, a school, a movie theater.
Right.
And we can make some others, but all those are, as a general rule, we feel we should be safe there. And in those situations, we also enter into it in our mind that, well, this is a safe zone. And by the way, all those should be.
Of course they should.
Yeah. And so you enter into the theater out there. You don't know this guy's there. He shows up.
He's just sitting there.
And 20 minutes into the movie, he pulls his gun out and he starts firing. Okay. Now, what's interesting, if we back up 5 hours before the movie, we know the same individual was at it wasn't a Starbucks, but it was like a coffee shop. And he approaches 2 women who he has never met before. They've never met him before. And he begins this really weird combination of conversations with them. Now, these 2 women were brilliant. They realized immediately this guy, and this is a professional term I'm about to teach you. Right?
Okay.
And it's one that women understand. We men folk, we don't understand this, right? When I say the word I'm about to say, every woman who's listening to this right now immediately will have in her mind a picture or pictures of a man. And this professional term is creepy.
Yeah.
Those 2 ladies knew this guy was creepy. Something was not right about him. Now, if you want to back that up a little bit, what we train people on is this is a new term also, right? We pronounce it different in the South than those in the Northeast. So I will give you both terms.
Okay.
Those of us in the South, we pronounce it a gonometer.
Gonometer.
Okay. For those in the North, it's a gotometer. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotometer, right?
Yeah.
But it's that thing that inherently in our gut that God gave us when we were born that says, you know what? This feels good. This is right.
Sure.
This is concerning.
Right.
This is dangerous.
I call it my spidey sense.
You bet. We all have it. Here's the problem. Society has taught us not to trust our gut.
Exactly.
What we have to do is we have to retrain our gut and say, yes, we do trust it. But we need to go through the right training. And some of what we're doing in the danger zone is going to bring some of that into the forefront for people. So to answer your question, now let's look at these 2 situations, right? I'm in the movie theater. This guy's here. Something's not right about him. Now, what do we do with that? Well, I'm not going to put my back to him.
Right.
Okay. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So I'm going to keep where I can keep an eye on him. And I'm going to be ready to act if he chooses to be a fool.
There you have it. Rod Fullenwater is our guest, spokesman for Danger Zone 2, an active shooter seminar you've got to attend. Thursday, September 3rd from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eat your Wheaties. There's a lunch there, by the way. They've got it all taken care of. Believe me, these people know what they're doing. It's designed for individuals, business leaders, school teachers, church leaders, anybody who wants to know what they should do if they ever encounter an active shooter scenario. It's the Eisman Center in Richardson, Texas. $50 per attendee. You'll never spend a better $50. Thursday, September 3rd. You want more information? 660amtheanswer.com. 660amtheanswer.com. We've got just a couple of seconds here. Time for one question, if you have one, with Rod Fullenwater as we continue here on 660 AM The Answer. We live in a dangerous world. It's time to start reflecting that in our behavior. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. Back with more in just a moment.
Lieutenant Colonel Alan West will join me on my show this week to talk about Iran and more. And in the second hour, IPI's Tom Giovanetti will tell us about what the recent FCC internet takeover will mean to you. This is Debbie Georgatis. This week, I'll be at the GOP presidential debate in Cleveland doing political analysis for Fox News Radio. I'll tell you all about it on my show. On Ladies Can We talk truth about America and why it matters to you. Tune in every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. on 660 AM, The Answer.
For almost 2 decades, financial advisor and educator Rick Poston with Empowered Wealth Financial Services has provided peace of mind to thousands who see or hear him in the media or read his work. Rick has been chosen by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of the top 20 game-changing financial advisors in the country. A fan of Rick's profound teaching, Brian Tracy, world-renowned business leader, speaker, and best-selling author, has asked Rick to co-author his newest book entitled The Winning Way, where Rick will share with his fans some of the principles that allow Rick's clients to continue on their winning way. If you're looking to break away from that same old investment plan that has provided you with one too many disappointments, stay tuned to 660 AM The Answer every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for the most educational hour on financial talk radio with Empowered Wealth Radio, live, or call 469-361-4020.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. The GOP debate Thursday night promises to be a drama and indeed fun-filled collision of 16 very diverse candidates over 2 different debates. Of course, many eyes will be on Donald Trump and Jeb Bush, the leader in fundraising. But Scott Walker, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio are also widely regarded as top-tier contenders, and there isn't a bad candidate in the bunch. The Fox News Channel hosts will have their hands full keeping the many candidates within their allocated times, and the questions precise and resistant to filibuster. But the debate signals the beginning of the end of the Obama era, which has been wildly destructive of American national interest. For that reason alone, the rising curtain on the debates ought to be cheered. I get to ask questions at the debates next month and in December and then March, and I look forward to helping GOP primary voters decide who is best positioned to face Hillary in 2016, while also helping set the issues that the general election in 2016 ought to revolve around, especially national security and the calamitous agreement with Iran. I'm Hugh Hewitt.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with something I know you do not want to spend your summer doing. Paying 2 mortgages while only living in one house, or stuck in one house that you can't sell when there's another house right over there across town that you'd love to move into, but you can't. If you're stuck in a home you can't sell and nobody else has been able to sell it for you, let me solve that for you. Josh DeShong, my hero. He sold our home. Josh DeShong and the now famous Josh DeShong home selling team. Here's how he works. Marketing budget like nobody else. Energy like nobody else. Putting your house in front of so many people. You only need one buyer. He will find it. Here's his pledge. You'll sit down with Josh DeShong. Talk about a price and a time frame. If your house does not sell at that agreed upon price in that agreed upon time frame, that's it. Josh DeShong will buy your house. Your house will get sold. That's why his website is getsold.net. Getsold.net. Call Josh today. Get him on your team. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-573-2467. That's 1-800-573-2467. 1-800-573-2467. Or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
This is 660 AM. The Answer. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
This is perfect music. This is perfect music.
Awesome music.
Yes, you'll never find another love like mine, which is why I'm telling you to go to the Eisman Center September 3rd from 8:30 in the morning until 4 p.m. You take the day off. Spend the money. It's $50. Okay? In the vast scheme of things, imagine being any place in a live shooter situation and not have this training and saying, well, at least I saved $50. Well, that's silliness. Then you can go to 660amtheanswer.com and find out more about Rod Fullenwider, spokesman for Danger Zone 2, which is the training that they're giving you, surviving and recovering from an active shooter situation. You got one last thing to say. What do you tell people? What do they need to hear in this conversation?
I think they need to hear this. Trust your gut. Know when to act. Know when to run. Know when to fight. And once you make that decision, whatever it is, follow it. Okay?
Commit to it.
Commit to it.
You really have to.
And if you get into a situation where you have to fight, remember there's no rules in a fight.
Right.
And what everyone has to understand, and this is what we want to equip people to do in the situation, their job in that situation is to survive. That's what we want them to do. We want them to go home to their family.
And that's what you're going to learn Thursday, September 3rd from 8:30 until 4 p.m. I'm going to talk about this again and probably again before September 3rd. You've got to take this class. Rod Fullenwider, thanks for joining us tonight. We sincerely appreciate it, my
Always
brother.
glad to be here, brother.
You are listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Bill Bennett will bend over backwards to get new listeners.
Let's go to Wayne in Shenandoah, Virginia. What are you doing up? Why are you up?
I'm fixing to go to McDonald's and have coffee with about 14 other old men, and then we're going to go feed the cow.
Do those other guys listen to this show?
One or two.
Well, can we get those numbers up? I'll tell you what, I'll buy a round of coffee if you'll talk us up. I'll buy a round of coffee.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America, weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Got a question. Why is your mobile phone bill going to help Hillary become president of the United States? Answer is, same reason Big Mobile helped Obama win twice. It's what they do. Now Hillary's counting on Big Mobile to help her in 2016. If you're okay with that, don't listen further. But if you don't want to support Hillary or other leftist candidates and causes, switch to EOS Mobile. EOS Mobile. Website is EOScell, EOScell.com to learn more. EOS has the same great nationwide network, high-speed data, voice, pretty much everywhere across the country. EOS has the same devices you've come to love. And with plans starting at $9.99, a plan for every budget. Best of all, EOS Mobile at EOScell.com gives 5% of each bill to conservative causes and candidates. If you're stuck in a contract, they'll buy you out. If you want your phone bill to support conservative candidates, the choice is clear. EOScell.com. Learn more now at EOScell.com. EOScell.com. Same phones, same service, better causes. EOScell.com. EOScell.com.
Let's make an offer on that Aspen Street house.
That one doesn't have a home warranty.
Is that a problem?
Not if you like paying through the nose on home system breakdowns.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like if the air conditioner quits, want to pay for a new one? Do you know how to fix the water heater, the plumbing?
Got it. Let's only look at places with home warranties.
A home warranty from American Home Shield protects homeowners against unexpected covered repairs and breakdowns of major home systems and appliances. Who would want to move into a new home without one? Just ask your local real estate professional. Or for complimentary helpful information about a home warranty from American Home Shield, call now at 1-800-771-2898. Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade call. Some exclusions and limitations apply. An American Home Shield home warranty instantly gives home buyers confidence in their purchase. For complimentary helpful information, including terms, rates, and coverage, call 1-800-771-2898. 1-800-771-2898.
This is 660 AM, The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM. KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM, The Answer.
News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. Police say the man who walked into a movie theater with a pellet gun, pepper spray, and a hatchet had significant psychological issues. Vincente David Montano was shot dead by a SWAT team in suburban Nashville.
The SWAT team moved in and had to don gas masks because the concentration of pepper spray inside the theater was so strong. Then there was more gunfire, and the gunman died at the scene.
Fox's Jonathan Seri. Police say Montano doused 3 moviegoers with the pepper spray. Deliberations in Colorado will start soon on the punishment for movie theater shooter James Holmes.
Jurors have already found James Holmes' mental illness and other factors are not enough to keep him from getting the death penalty. And after this victim impact phase ends, they will deliberate if he should live or die.
Fox News Radio's Jessica Rosenthal. On Wall Street, the Dow off 10 points. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM The Answer. Listen on iHeartRadio.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hi, I'm John Hill, founder of the Good Contractors List, and this is the Good Contractors List Word of the Month. I love a good, encouraging, positive message, but some days there just isn't enough times you can look in the mirror and say to yourself, this is going to be a great day. Some days are just not fun. On those days, you can focus on the problem and start telling yourself that things are never going to get better. Or you can say to yourself, I'm going to wait this storm out. The Bible talks about the armor of God in Ephesians 6. It says, therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything, to stand. Some days, all we can do is just stand there and face the evil day, knowing that the armor of God is enough. Submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. I'm John Hill, founder of the Good Contractors List.
The word of the month has been brought to you by thegoodcontractorslist.com.
At Arizona State University, we believe in giving you everything you need to learn to thrive. So it's good to know the experts and college reviewers agree. U.S. News & World Report names ASU the second most innovative school in the country. The Wall Street Journal says ASU is 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates. The esteemed Princeton Review ranks ASU in the top 15% of America's four-year colleges as a leader in undergrad education. This is a university that empowers you to truly thrive. Arizona State University Online gives you the exact same curriculum, identical degree, and access to the same prestigious faculty as on-campus students. You can choose from over 100 degree programs, all enhanced by our innovative online learning technologies. For more information, call 1-800-600-6431. U.S. News & World Report ranked us in the top 10 for earning an online degree. All these high marks should give you confidence in your big plans. Learn to thrive with ASU Online. Call 1-800-600-6431. That's 1-800-600-6431.
I'm Steve Sidkowski, a former Wall Street insider. I'm holding a book that will show you investing strategies which could help you earn the kind of money you've always dreamed about. And right now, I'm giving this book away for free. So who needs to read it? If you're in the middle of your career and worry you'll never have enough money to retire, you need to read this book. If you're already retired and your income isn't enough, you need to read this book. And if you don't want to be selling burgers at 80, you need to read this free book. It includes the strategy I use to make a 72% profit on a trade where the stock only moved 12%. You'll need at least $1 million to ever fully retire. If you're behind on that goal, you really need to read Trade Like the Pros. And you can for free by calling 1-800-708-4557. Skeptical that it will deliver results? It's a free book, so what do you have to lose? Find out how at 1-800-708-4557. 1-800-708-4557.
Okay, you're on. We're here live from Niagara Falls for this year's Spring Festival. Wait, what?
That'll do it.
Great job, Will. You two, what are you doing?
Sorry, Canada. You had a leak.
Look, it's Will Nell and Fred Thompson from American Leak Detection.
American Leak Detection.
Guys, come over here. Come here. All right. Here with me now are the guys with American Leak Detection. Please explain yourselves.
Well, at American Leak Detection, we have been detecting and repairing hidden leaks in your home for more than 25 years, big or small.
And all without damaging your home. We can even repair leaks in your swimming pools. Hey, looks like DFW needs us. Just go to AmericanLeakDetection.com to schedule us to come out. That's AmericanLeakDetection.com.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. This is a Wednesday night in North Texas, and it's been like the last couple of weeks. This is the third week of just one incredibly dynamic news story after another. The President of the United States went to American University today and tried to evoke President Kennedy. And I suppose I can understand what he's trying to do. It didn't work too well for him when he tried to replicate Reagan at the Brandenburg Gate. But what ended up happening is that the president spoke for a protracted amount of time about the Iran deal and was apparently trying to make sure that this deal goes through. Now, I'm going to report this. I'm going to report this in a straightforward way that is nonpartisan, insofar as the President of the United States is responsible for foreign policy. For good or for ill, the president is responsible for foreign policy, and it has always been the case where politics stops at the water's edge. Unfortunately, the president has put us in a situation here where we have to figure out, okay, the Congress has oversight on this deal. The Israelis alerted their friends in Congress and in the United States Senate that this was a bad deal based on their intel coming out of Lausanne, Switzerland. And they got to work on doing their best to get the Congress involved in oversight of this deal. Now, that violates what I just said, which was politics stops at the water's edge. The State Department is supposed to handle these things, and that's why, I mean, up until this particular round of whatever it is they're trying to get done, the State Department has set the pace for diplomacy in the world in an historic way. They are the most brilliant diplomats that the world has ever seen. And they always have been, and they always will be. The only problem with it is that in this particular case, we have a Secretary of State that is, I just don't I have zero confidence in John Kerry. I just have zero confidence in the man. And it has to do with his personal credibility, and it has to do with his politics, which I find beyond disappointing. And so when you've got somebody like John Kerry, who is negotiating with anyone for any reason, there are going to be problems. And we've got them. And here they are. There are two side deals that had nothing to do with the talks that appear in the treaty that Congress is supposed to advise and consent on. The problem is these two deals involve information that cannot be shared per the agreement with the United States. That was a precondition that was put on these deals by Iran. And so the president does not know what these side deals are. They are with the IAEA, the United Nations, and Iran. That's it. It's a two-party talk. The United Nations and Iran and the United States, as a preconsideration, as a precondition, may not know anything about these things. And yet the Congress of the United States is expected to agree to these deals that nobody knows anything about. It's not going to happen. The president has mishandled this. And he's about to get embarrassed for the way he's handled it. Before the Congress had a chance to act, the President of the United States put the deal before the Security Council of the United Nations, and presto changeo, they approved it. Well, that took the Congress right out of the deal. Would they have approved that deal, the United Nations Security Council, if the Congress had said no? We don't know. The opportunity to make a more reasoned decision was taken out of the hands of the United States, we the people, by the president who wanted to move forward with this. So today, the president issued a blistering rebuttal to opponents of the Iran nuclear deal, and in a stem-winding speech that saw the president on both sides of the fence, he did a lot of things that were kind of disturbing. One, he evoked John F. Kennedy and the Soviet Union and tried to push for some kind of political / geopolitical world kind of a balance between these two groups of people, between ISIS and the Soviets, between himself and John Kennedy. You know, this line has been used protractedly today. Mr. Obama, you're no Jack Kennedy. And that's a fact. And ISIS is not the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was a political organization. ISIS is a, quote, religious one, unquote. It's an apocalyptic cult that you're dealing with. They believe that the best parts of their life come after their physical death on earth. They thus really don't care if they are killed. Their mission is to take as many infidels with them to serve them in paradise as slaves. And the president does not have the kind of very straightforward, very political, very professional, if you will. You don't have those professional Soviet diplomats sitting across from you and demanding what they demanded and listening to you and what you demand and work together to get it done. You have people that are there for a completely different reason, and the people that they're negotiating with are Muhammad and the people in the Quran. You're not even at the table. And so the President of the United States resorts to the bully pulpit, bluster, and threats. And threats. The president says that Democrats must go along. Reported by Bloomberg View. As Congress heads into the long August recess, the White House and the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee are lobbying Democrats hard in anticipation of a September vote on the Iran nuclear deal. Both sides have given those Democrats who are set to oppose them a second option. They are asking them to at least delay announcing their decision until they get back. The calculation for asking Democrats to be quiet about their announcement is defensible. Neither side wants the other to establish momentum that would precipitate a cascade of commitments over the coming weeks. President Obama and other top officials have been near constant communication with House and Senate Democrats through group and one-on-one interactions and good old-fashioned threats. It's about going along. It's a team game today, according to the president. And your party loyalty is expected to come through on this deal. Now, we already know that when you cross the president, Senator Bob Menendez, when you cross the president, you end up with the Department of Justice putting an indictment on you. Now, that's serious stuff. That's bare-knuckle Chicago politics. Okay, you don't want to go along? Fine, we're going to find problems with your taxes, and we're going to screw up your life. And they're just going to screw up their lives. So these are not small threats the president's making. Further, the president is trying to put as much political pressure on his political enemies as he possibly can. After calling the deal the most important thing that any of us could do, and saying today that the congressional vote that could block the deal is, quote, the most consequential foreign policy debate since the decision to go to war in Iraq, he stood there at American University trying to look like Kennedy. White House aides said President Obama would point out that the same people who supported the war in Iraq are opposing diplomacy with Iran, and that it would be an historic mistake to squander this opportunity to contain Iran's nuclear program. Mr. President, most people in America do not believe that you are doing anything with this agreement that would contain anything. And we've already been through this once. Coming up in just a couple of seconds, we're going to speak with Ambassador John Bolton about this very circumstance. I'm going to ask him about this deal vis-a-vis the North Korea deal. There are many people who have said the North Korea deal was stronger than this deal. And before it expired, North Korea had a nuclear weapon. The framing of the message appeared to be a direct appeal to congressional Democrats, some opposed to the Iraq War. Others came to regret their votes to authorize it. President Obama will need their votes to get the one-third vote necessary to sustain a veto. He's already thinking he's going to lose this fight, and he should lose this fight. It's pick and poke. Nobody can agree to it. Nobody can. Because you're dealing with Iran, and Iran does not follow the rules. Today, in Bloomberg View, the U.S. intelligence community has informed Congress of evidence that Iran has been sanitizing its suspected military nuclear site, the site at Parchin, in broad daylight, days after agreeing to a nuclear deal with world powers. Remember, they have these nuclear detonators that they'd been testing. When they explode, they leave traces in the soil. When they leave traces in the soil, you can find those traces. That's a smoking gun that they are working on nuclear weapons. They already knew they actually had the detonators. Now all they have to do is prove that they've been used. So now the Iranians are sanitizing the Parchin site. Senior lawmakers in both parties, that calls into question Iran's intention to fully account for the possible military dimensions of its current and past nuclear development. The International Atomic Energy Agency and Iran have a side deal meant to resolve past suspicions about the Parchin site, and lawmakers concerned about it already have become a flashpoint. They don't have access to its texts. And oh, by the way, why would the Iranians be cleaning it up if they hadn't been cheating and it couldn't be proved? The answer is they wouldn't. There's more. It's next. This is the Wells Report.
Football season is almost here. But wait, don't start daydreaming of all the afternoons camped in front of your TV watching God's sport just yet. Hear me for 1 second. Football's great, and living in Texas means you probably played it growing up. But I bet you didn't know that some kids don't have the chance like you did to play real competitive football. Kids in homeschool and private schools don't have the same opportunities to strap on the helmet. There are even some kids who just need a second chance at hitting the field. And that's why there's TACA, T-A-C-A, which is short for the Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes. Do you have a kid or know of a kid who's in this situation? If so, then go to freeminicamps.com today and register them for TACA's absolutely free football camp. Great athletes and Christ-centered coaching is what TACA is built on. Let your child grow on the field and off with TACA and its free minicamps. That's freeminicamps.com today. That's freeminicamps.com today. Hurry, because camp is right around the corner, so go to freeminicamps.com right now.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, owner of Statewide Remodeling. You know, we've been getting some relief from what is usually the beginning of summer here in Texas. And right behind that, the temperature goes up, and so do your cooling bills. We manufacture our windows to beat the Texas heat. Our fiber core reinforced frames are 9 times stronger than other windows, and our glass has 27% more viewing area. We give you better than triple pane performance at a double pane price. Another thing that separates our window from all competitors is we can match our exterior frame to any color Sherwin-Williams offers. So no plain white windows here, or 3 or 4 colors to choose from. And of course, we offer the longest warranty in the industry. It even covers glass breakage and workmanship for as long as you own your home. So if you're ready to see the window that sets the standard in Texas, give us a call. And if you decide it's the one for you, receive 20% off the complete job. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. Or check us out online 24/7 at statewideremodeling.com.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
If you or someone you care for are using painful urinary catheters, Medical Direct Club can help. There's a new catheter that hurts less, and you can get a free sample with free shipping by calling now. Pain and urinary tract infections can be avoided if you're using urinary catheters. The new disposable catheters from Medical Direct Club hurt less due to an incredible new design that reduces pain by gliding easily and effortlessly. Old catheters can scrape and cut, causing pain and infection. These new catheters from Medical Direct Club are changing the lives of people who use urinary catheters. Medicare and your insurance will pay for up to 200 of these new catheters per month at little or no cost to you. Medical Direct Club handles all of the paperwork with your doctor and includes lifetime free shipping when you join. Membership and a free sample are free, so call Medical Direct Club now. 1-800-600-6144. That's 1-800-600-6144. End painful cathing today. Call 1-800-600-6144.
Hello?
Hi, is this Amy?
Speaking.
This is Steve from LifeLock, calling about your response to the alert we sent for a credit application at a store in Portland.
Yes? That wasn't me. I'm in Tampa.
I understand. I'm going to work with you to help you resolve this, okay?
Thanks, Steve. I feel better already.
LifeLock detects threats to your finances, alerts you to danger, and helps restore your identity if anything's found. And with LifeLock Ultimate Plus, you get protection for your bank accounts, investments, even the equity in your home. Look, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor transactions at every business, but LifeLock Ultimate Plus provides comprehensive identity theft protection. Visit LifeLock.com now and enter promo code AWARE or call and mention AWARE to save 10% on your LifeLock Ultimate Plus membership. Call 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship.
They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
660 AM, The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
Minutes away from Ambassador John Bolton joining us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM, The Answer. The ambassador is going to tell us what he thought of the president's speech today, what he thinks of the Iran deal, and more. You don't want to miss it. Every time John Bolton opens his mouth, you learn something incredibly important. Here are a couple of other things going on here. The president, after blasting opponents of the Iranian nuclear nuclear deal. Let me say that again. If Iran cheats, we can catch them, and we will, as the president denounced critics of the international nuclear agreement with Iran. The congressional vote is the most consequential foreign policy debate this country has had since the invasion of Iraq. Unfortunately, we're living through a time in American politics when every foreign policy decision is read through a partisan prism. More than a decade later, this is after going to war in Iraq. More than a decade later, we still live with the consequences, the decisions we made to invade that country. Yeah, Mr. President, we're living with the decisions that were made when you decided to get us out of that country. That's very, very creative, but it does not pass the smell test, sir. Here's the situation. You needed to force a status of forces agreement in Iraq. To abandon that country was beyond irresponsible on so many levels. To say that the problem was getting involved in it in the first place is sophistry. Sophistry. The president also said something that was really terrible. What he said he said that ISIS leadership was in league with conservative Republicans in this issue. That was just awful. That was terrible. Do you have that? Do we have that sound? Do we have that one sound where he said that, where he tried to draw an equivalence, a moral equivalence between the ISIS leadership and conservative Republicans? Okay. Yeah, it was terrible. We've got a montage at the beginning. How much time do we have time to play it? We'll play it here in a minute. Yeah, we'll do it next segment. So what we have here is we have a president of the United States trying to defend an indefensible bill, an indefensible treaty, because it contains two things that we, the people of the United States, have been expressly forbidden by the Iranian leadership from knowing. This, strangely enough, has created agreement from two parties, one of which had something to do with the talks, and one of them did not. A senior Iranian official today warned of an impending third world war that will be sparked by terrorists, according to regional reports. Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, the chairman of Iran's powerful Expediency Council, warned in a comment that the outbreak of World War III is coming in the near future. This reported by the Fars news agency. The threat of the outbreak of the Third World War by the terrorists is serious. Rafsanjani was quoted as saying in a meeting with Italian Foreign Minister Paolo Gentiloni, who was in Tehran this week for a meeting with Iranian officials. Rafsanjani blamed the U.S. and NATO for fostering conditions that will lead us to World War III. Quote, the U.S. and NATO invaded Afghanistan to uproot terrorism and narcotics, but we saw the terrorism expanded to the form of ISIL, Boko Haram, al-Nusra Front, and to remote parts of the world from Al-Qaeda and Taliban in Pakistan and Afghanistan. Well, there's only one real problem with that. It wasn't about the terrorism expanding in the form of ISIL, Boko Haram, and so on. The Arab awakening had a little thing to do about that too. Remember? The Arab Spring, I mean. The Arab awakening, same thing. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer. So the Iranians are saying, yeah, this could cause Third World War. Somebody else is saying it too. I'll tell you who that is next. This is the Wells Report.
You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
Hi, this is Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report with Walt Parker here from InvestingMakesMeSick.com. Walt, I was looking at your new website. I've got to admit, I'm impressed.
We keep telling people there's more to investing than just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. Our new website is full of information about these alternative investments. You need to understand your investments. We also provide our We Come to You service and spend the time necessary to help people know they have other options than just stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. Website is great, but nothing beats a face-to-face discussion to help you with your investment decisions.
Most people say they listen to your ads for 2 years before calling. Don't wait 2 years. Call Walt right now, 972-463-3833. That's 972-463-3833, or visit their new website at investingmakesmesick.com. All investments involve risk. Investments may be considered speculative and incur substantial fees and expenses borne by the investor. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
Hi, folks. Alan Thicke here. Some things in life are just too serious to take chances on, and owing money to the IRS is definitely one of those. The IRS has the power to garnish your paycheck. They can levy your bank account, even take your home or business. Seriously. Thankfully, with one simple call, you can start solving your tax debt once and for all. Optima Tax Relief is the leading tax resolution firm in the nation. They have over 250 professionals. They have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and the trust of thousands of satisfied clients. Optima's attorneys can immediately protect you from aggressive collections because they are experts in the Fresh Start Initiative. That's a special IRS debt forgiveness program that could save you thousands. Don't wait till it's too late. Get serious. Call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There was a lot to love about your timeshare. Now that it's time to get out, there's a lot to love about ResortRelease.com. ResortRelease.com helps timeshare owners terminate their contracts and end all future payments guaranteed. If you've tried to sell your timeshare, you know how impossible it can feel. But our 100% guarantee lets you legally and permanently walk away or you pay nothing. Resort Release holds a Better Business Bureau A+ rating. We're the only timeshare cancellation company in the nation with their prestigious accreditation. 2016's maintenance fees are on the way. Talk to one of ResortRelease.com's expert asset managers before that bill arrives. 800-281-9595. That's 800-281-9595. Experience ResortRelease.com's easy cancellation process and free yourself from the burden of that timeshare. Call 800-281-9595 or visit ResortRelease.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Today, let's talk about the $29 service call gimmick. Here in North Texas, an experienced service tech costs at least $35 an hour to employ. So how does a $29 service call work? Well, it doesn't unless they find a bunch of stuff wrong with your system. It's just bait to get you to call. We can't come out for $29, and really, neither can they. In this business, you get what you pay for. Reliant Air Conditioning service call is $79, and our guys are all drug tested, background checked, and they don't work on commission. So if you need service on your AC system, call the company that's been gimmick-free since '83. Or if your system needs to be replaced, you can save up to $3,500 per system with Carrier's Cool Cash promotion. Our number's 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437 or ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AMTheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. His name is Kurt. He's calling from Bedford. Kurt, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here, sir.
Thank you, JD. You're having Ambassador Bolton on, is that correct?
Yes, he is right around the corner, in fact.
Wouldn't it be nice if he was the UN ambassador instead of Samantha Powers? Because I don't think John Bolton would go in there and vote with the Security Council to make the nuke deal go through the United Nations as quick as that happens.
You know, that's one of the problems with the president. He sees everything as a political tool, including his ambassador to the United Nations.
That's correct. And he went around Congress and didn't wait for them to vote or to discuss it. He just went right to the UN. It's a done deal up there.
Yep, it sure is. And John Bolton would have vetoed the thing, and he would have then been immediately fired. More with John Bolton in just a couple of seconds. But first, let's listen to what the president had to say. Here's a montage of some of the high points of his speech.
Today, I want to speak to you about this deal and the most consequential foreign policy debate that our country has had since the invasion of Iraq. As Congress decides whether to support this historic diplomatic breakthrough,
after that, you'll have about 30 seconds to
instead blocks it over the objection of the vast majority of the world. Between now and the congressional vote in September, you are going to hear a lot of arguments against this deal, backed by tens of millions of dollars in advertising. And if the rhetoric in these ads and the accompanying commentary sounds familiar, it should. For many of the same people who argued for the war in Iraq are now making the case against the Iran nuclear deal. Now, when I ran for president 8 years ago as a candidate who had opposed the decision to go to war in Iraq, I said that America didn't just have to end that war. We had to end the mindset that got us there in the first place. It was a mindset characterized by a preference for military action over diplomacy. A mindset that put a premium on unilateral U.S. action over the painstaking work of building international consensus. A mindset that exaggerated threats beyond what the intelligence supported, insisting that we could easily impose our will on a part of the world with a profoundly different culture and history. When the Bush administration took office, Iran had no centrifuges, the machines necessary to produce material for a bomb that were spinning to enrich uranium. But despite repeated warnings from the United States government, by the time I took office, Iran had installed several thousand centrifuges and showed no inclination to slow, much less halt, its program. Now, some have argued that Iran's intransigence showed the futility of negotiations. In fact, it was our very willingness to negotiate that helped America rally the world to our cause and secured international participation in an unprecedented framework of commercial and financial sanctions.
Go ahead.
That was some of what the president had to say today on 660amtheanswer.com. And that, of course, takes us to a guy who knows exactly what the president is doing, what he's trying to say, what he's trying to get going. And that, of course, is Ambassador John Bolton, former ambassador to the United Nations. Sir, it is with great pleasure and pride that I bring you to the radio airwaves. Welcome back to the Wells Report, sir.
Well, thanks again for having me. Glad to do it.
Let's talk a little bit about the president. He was at American University today. I guess he was trying to catch Kennedy in a bottle. Some people have said, Mr. President, you're no Jack Kennedy. What did you think of the speech, and what did you think about this entire premise that appears to be a selection of straw men that the president wants to throw at our feet and say, if we don't do this, then all manner of trials and tribulations will happen?
Well, the president really doesn't want to argue the merits of where this deal brings us. It's largely, I think, a political flak job. It's his defense. It's not really one that goes to the doubts that people legitimately have that Iran will comply with the obligations that it purports to undertake under this deal, and that's really the key. I'm not worried that in 8 or 10 years the provisions of the deal expire and Iran is at that point free to get nuclear weapons. I'm worried about the next 18 months. Because I think Iran has already started to violate this deal. That would be consistent with their actions over decades, beginning with violating the basic document at issue, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which they've been violating for about 3 decades as they've tried to get nuclear weapons. The essence of the Vienna deal is a repetition of the very language in the Non-Proliferation Treaty that Iran has been violating. So why we think they're going to uphold it now when they've ignored it these many years, no one has yet explained. Look, right after the Islamic Revolution of 1979, the Ayatollahs made a strategic decision to get deliverable nuclear weapons, a decision they have pursued relentlessly since then. There is no evidence that they have reversed that decision. And absent that kind of dramatic evidence, I think this document is worth the paper it's printed on, and that's about all. The president lives in a dream world if he thinks that A, Iran will scrupulously comply, B, that we can find out about their violations in a timely fashion, or C, that the idea of a sanctions snapback will deter Iran from violating the deal. All of those premises are false, and I think, unfortunately, they'll be proven in due course, but after the Iranians have already achieved their nuclear weapons.
Many people have said that this deal is eerily similar to the one struck with North Korea and those six-party talks. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it may actually be worse because most of the North Korea sanctions stayed in place even after the agreed framework of the mid-1990s. What we've seen over now almost, actually it's more than 13 years of negotiation with Iran, is that Iran has used the diplomacy to gain time to advance its nuclear program. We've applied sanctions. The UN has applied sanctions. The European Union has applied sanctions. None of them have slowed the nuclear program down at all. So basically, diplomacy and sanctions have failed. We're now going to lift all the sanctions, and I'll tell you, where diplomacy and sanctions have failed, diplomacy alone will fail worse, and that's what the Iranians are counting on. Of course they wanted to be released from the sanctions. Who wouldn't? But they didn't want to make any material concessions on the nuclear weapons program, and in the Vienna deal, they succeeded at that. So they get what they want. They keep their nuclear program, and they get the sanctions reversed. We get basically nothing.
He is John Bolton, former ambassador for the United Nations, also senior fellow for the American Enterprise Institute, and former undersecretary of state for arms control and international security. You certainly are in your element here. And I keep talking about these things that are in the shadows of this agreement, these two side deals that not only the Obama administration doesn't know anything about, but neither does the State Department.
Yeah, it's really incredible. The critical triggering event for the lifting of the Security Council sanctions, which is scheduled for later this year, is a report by the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, that they don't find any weaponization-related activities by Iran. Now, this has been the subject of dispute between the IAEA and Iran for about 6 or 7 years now. And during that period of time, Iran has lied to the IAEA, stonewalled, concealed things, obstructed their investigations. We're now to believe that in the next 3 or 4 months, these years of problems are going to be overcome, and the IAEA is going to be able to say no weapons program. Now, exactly what the IAEA has to say itself remains in doubt, but the idea that Iran has just rolled over on the most critical aspect of the weapons program is hard to believe. Maybe it's happened. But to know that, we've got to see what's in these side deals. And to say that Secretary Kerry has been briefed on them, but he hasn't even seen them, I think is dereliction of duty. I mean, that is a huge mistake to put the security of the United States, of our close ally Israel, of our friends in the Arab world, in a briefing about a document we haven't seen. I mean, I just find that hard to believe.
It cannot move forward. I mean, this is a pig in a poke times two, and it is with Iran's nuclear capability in the balance. How can the Congress of the United States responsibly sign off on this deal in any way, shape, or form? I'm so completely perplexed the president will use American University today to make his case to the American people. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. No one could agree to this deal in either the House or the Senate. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see how they could possibly put this through.
Well, I don't think he will get a majority in either house, but all he needs, unfortunately, is enough to sustain the veto that he will cast when the resolution of disapproval is actually voted on. And I think he will hold enough Democrats. There may be an odd Republican here or there who votes with him. It'll basically, though, be along party lines. And he's told the Democrats this is a matter of party loyalty. Unless you go along with me on this, I'll be handicapped in my last year and a half in office. And he'll lose a few Democrats, but basically it'll be enough to be overheld. I mean, I think his efforts to compare himself with Kennedy are ludicrous on their face. It's more of the blue smoke and mirrors approach. It's a propaganda approach to government. It's not a serious argument. Really, nobody should take the speech he just gave today seriously.
Ambassador John Bolton, our guest, former ambassador to the United Nations, joining us on the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer. Okay, so if the Congress decides to write off this deal, in other words, not go along with it, let's assume the president vetoes those agreements and is able to sustain his veto. What does that leave Iran in the position of being able to do? Where does Israel fall into all of this?
Well, Israel is now isolated by the United States government. It's in danger of a nuclear attack from Iran, and the United States has stepped as far away from Israel under President Obama as any time since Israel was created in 1948. Iran will get an immediate cash infusion in the tens of billions of dollars. Some estimate it to be as high as $150 billion, which will be immediately available for new terrorist activities, spending on their nuclear weapons program, or for economic purposes. And then even larger than that, over a very short period of time, uncounted numbers of trade and investment deals that have already been negotiated and basically signed with European companies just waiting to push the button to put them into operation, capital investment in the tens of billions of dollars by China, weapons and nuclear reactor sales by Russia. It's a huge economic boost for Iran, something their economy could use. And again, we get essentially nothing out of this. It's hard to imagine a more one-sided deal. I've described it as a U.S. diplomatic Waterloo.
I cannot agree with you more. I have called this the cornerstone of World War III. Is that melodrama?
Well, I think if you were to ask the people of Israel, they're very much worried about it, and they're worried they're going to be the target in this next war. I do think, as Prime Minister Netanyahu said the other day, that it makes war more likely in the region because it's not just Iran now that will get nuclear weapons. Other countries have seen the course these negotiations were taking over the last couple years, and I'm afraid we've already seen the beginning of a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, and perhaps others. They don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons any more than Israel does. They know they can't do anything to stop Iran like Israel could or like the United States could. So they're going to do the next best thing from their perspective and get their own nuclear weapons. It's a prescription that means in a relatively short period of time, as these things go, 5-10 years, you could have half a dozen nuclear weapon states in the world's most volatile region.
If that indeed happens, how can Israel sit on its hands and not preempt? That's my big nightmare.
Yeah, well, I don't, profess to have any inside information about what the government of Israel will do, but I do know, as a matter of history, that twice before they have struck nuclear weapons programs in the hands of hostile states. In 1981 against Saddam Hussein, and in 2007 against Syria. So it would not be surprising if Israel did that. And given that, as former Prime Minister Ariel Sharon used to say, Iran with nuclear weapons is the threat of a nuclear holocaust, that clearly that's why the spotlight's on Israel. Nobody believes, by the way, our president, who's constantly saying people who oppose this deal want war. It's our president who has said repeatedly all options are on the table, meaning that's a code for saying the military option's on the table. I guess when he says it, he's not belligerent. And in a way, he's right, because nobody has ever believed him. And when he says it today, Joe Biden, the vice president's been up on the Hill lobbying Democrats, saying the use of force is still an option on the table. The president will never use force against Iran's nuclear program. So the question is, if anybody does it, it's going to be Israel. And I think they have to do it soon before Iran gets sophisticated new air defenses from Russia.
Former ambassador to the United Nations, senior fellow for the American Enterprise Institute, former Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security, John Bolton is our guest. And, sir, thank you so much for joining us. And we always learn so much. Every time you drop by the Wells Report, it means a great deal that you would spend time with us.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoyed doing it. Thanks again for having me.
We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. The GOP debate Thursday night promises to be a drama and indeed fun-filled collision of 16 very diverse candidates over two different debates. Of course, many eyes will be on Donald Trump and Jeb Bush, the leader in fundraising. But Scott Walker, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio are also widely regarded as top-tier contenders, and there isn't a bad candidate in the bunch. The Fox News Channel hosts will have their hands full keeping the many candidates within their allocated times, and the questions precise and resistant to filibuster. But the debate signals the beginning of the end of the Obama era, which has been wildly destructive of American national interest. For that reason alone, the rising curtain on the debates ought to be cheered. I get to ask questions at the debates next month and in December and then March, and I look forward to helping GOP primary voters decide who is best positioned to face Hillary in 2016, while also helping set the issues that the general election in 2016 ought to revolve around, especially national security and the calamitous agreement with Iran. I'm Hugh Hewitt.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. I love birthdays, and our friends at Abacus Foundation Repair are celebrating 15 years of serving North Texas with the highest quality foundation repair, and they want to give something to you. On their 15th anniversary, $1,000 off any job with 10 pilings or more. Not only are you going to save $1,000, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that with Abacus Foundation, you're getting the elite state-of-the-art solution for your home. Millennium composite pilings. Nobody else has them. Abacus has an A-plus business rating from the Better Business Bureau, 6 straight years running on that. The expansion and contraction of Texas soils mean a lot of us have foundation issues. You don't want to call the wrong people. Call the right people first for the absolute best foundation repair. Affordable, reliable home warranty that you can pass on to subsequent owners of your home. Give them a call today, 972-406-9000, 972-406-9000, abacusfoundationrepair.com. Ask about $1,000 off, abacusfoundationrepair.com.
This isn't a commercial. It's a gift to anyone who's sick and tired of dealing with their hearing loss. Because we'll give everyone who calls a risk-free trial of a life-changing hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear. Not only that, we'll also give you free shipping and free batteries for life. But you must call now. 1-800-943-2757. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. So if you're sick of dealing with your hearing loss, let us give you a 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-943-2757. That's 1-800-943-2757. 1-800-943-2757.
You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MySolar now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MySolar.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MySolar.
660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. An alert has been issued by the FBI to all law enforcement agencies in Colorado and Wyoming involving U.S. military families and concerns about who may be watching them. The alert says Middle Eastern men are approaching families of U.S. military members at their homes in Colorado and Wyoming. In one case last May, the wife of a military member was approached in front of her home by two Middle Eastern males. The men stated that she was the wife of a U.S. interrogator. When she denied their claims, the men laughed. The two men then left the area in a dark-colored four-door sedan with two other Middle Eastern males in the vehicle. The women who had observed the vehicle in the neighborhood on previous occasions, similar incidents in Wyoming, have been reported to the FBI. This is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. The FBI alert said Middle Eastern men were attempting to gain personal information about military members and family members through intimidation. The family members have reported feeling frightened. The alert says men have not been identified. The FBI is not sure if the incidents involve all of the same men. While the FBI will not comment on the alert, Colorado's Department of Homeland Security says it was aware of it and says military families are encouraged to report any suspicious behavior to the FBI. If you see something, say something. Do not wait for a tragedy to report what you may know. Just keep your eyes open. You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Coming up in just a couple of seconds, you're not going to believe this, but a firebrand imam may be in just a little bit of trouble. And speaking of the FBI, we've got more to say next on the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Debt Relief Advocates now. 1-800-500-8980. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Debt Relief Advocates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
Hello?
Hi, is this Amy?
Speaking.
This is Steve from LifeLock, calling about your response to the alert we sent for a credit application at a store in Portland.
Yes? That wasn't me. I'm in Tampa.
I understand. I'm going to work with you to help you resolve this, okay?
Thanks.
Check. Yeah. Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells for my good friend. Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells here for my good friend Walt Parker and investingmakesmesick.com. You've been advertising for years, Walt, but there are still people who are not familiar with investingmakesmesick.com. Tell us about that. If you aren't new to DFW, if you are not new to DFW and you've been listening to Walt for years, don't wait any longer. It's time to call. Walt can help you understand all your options. Call him today, 972-463-3833, or log on to investingmakesmesick.com. Walt can help you understand all your options. Call him today, 972-463-3833. That's 972-463-3833, or log on to investingmakesmesick.com. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The deepest field of legitimate presidential candidates in the Republican Party's history will get their chance to speak tonight, and we will cover the show like a blanket. Do not miss your chance to find out just exactly what all 17 Republican presidential candidates were 17 presidential candidates. The deepest field of 17 candidates. The deepest field 17 candidates, the deepest Republican field for the nomination in the history of the party. On the next edition of the Wells Report, we are going to cover everything they say. From the first group to the second, we'll have all the coverage you could possibly want here on the Wells Report. Do not miss your chance to find out who would lead America where and what they want to do first. Next time on the Wells Report. You happy with that? Mark Davis, there are 2 debates coming up tonight, and the Wells Report will be covering them like a blanket. Thanks very much for letting me come by and say that we are going to make sure that everybody gets to hear from all 17 candidates. Where do they want to take the country? What's the first thing they want to fix? Is there anything they want to stop immediately? We'll cover all those questions. We'll answer all those questions and more tonight. It's debate coverage on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
Pay to write a bad review. The Good Contractors list takes into consideration things like overhead and sales tactics when choosing our contractors. On Angie's List, you can pay to read reviews. If one of our contractors refuses to fix a problem, we investigate fully and pay up to $10,000 of our own money to get it fixed. On Angie's List, you can write a bad review and you're on your own. The Good Contractors list is absolutely free with a $10,000 guarantee. Reviews are good. Responsibility is better.
Hey, does the idea of having your home sold on time without hassle and for top dollar, does that seem unrealistic to you? Well, it doesn't have to. Hey, Dallas, it's your friend Sean Hannity with your solution and the one real estate agent to sell your home guaranteed. That's Josh DeShong of Josh DeShong Real Estate at Keller Williams. On average, Josh sells a home every 32 hours and averages hundreds of local, national, and international buyers every single week. Now, that means your home sells on time at a price that you agreed to, guaranteed, or Josh will buy it. He spends 200 times more money on marketing than the average agent. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Josh in DFW. And if I lived in Dallas and needed my home sold, guess what? I'd call Josh DeShong, and you should too. Call Josh now at 972-325-6644 or go online at getsold.net. That's 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
Sample comes with a 90-day order. Copays and deductibles may apply.
If you or someone you care for are using painful urinary catheters, Medical Direct Club can help. There's a new catheter that hurts less, and you can get a free sample with free shipping by calling now. Pain and urinary tract infections can be avoided if you're using urinary catheters. The new disposable catheters from Medical Direct Club hurt less due to an incredible new design that reduces pain by gliding easily and effortlessly. Old catheters can scrape and cut, causing pain and infection. These new catheters from Medical Direct Club are changing the lives of people who use urinary catheters. Medicare and your insurance will pay for up to 200 of these new catheters per month at little or no cost to you. Medical Direct Club handles all of the paperwork with your doctor and includes lifetime free shipping when you join. Membership and a free sample are free, so call Medical Direct Club now. 1-800-600-6144. That's 1-800-600-6144. End painful cathing today. Call 1-800-600-6144.
Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells, here for my friend Walt Parker and InvestingMakesMeSick.com. I've had the very good fortune of getting to know Walt and all the people at InvestingMakesMeSick.com. I've known them for several years, and believe me, these people are people you want to get to know. Walt, everybody seems to want to offer the same old stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities. Tell us what's the difference with what you do.
What we do is educate people and let them know that there is more to investing than the same old, same old. We're in exciting times right now with alternative investment opportunities that can give our clients control over their future.
This is why getting help making a decision about your investment planning is so very important. Walt and his team offer We Come to You service and appointment times that work for you. To schedule one of those, an appointment call 972-463-3833, 972-463-3833, or check out their all-new website at InvestingMakesMeSick.com. All investments involve risk. Investments may be considered speculative and incur substantial fees and expenses borne by the investor. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Titan Securities. InvestingMakesMeSick.com and Titan Securities are not affiliated.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome A Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Do you remember the name Azem Chowdhury? Know who he is? He is a firebrand imam in Great Britain. He has appeared on the Sean Hannity show. Our colleague Sean Hannity has had him on the air, and he is pernicious and perverse and a bomb thrower, essentially. Well, as it turns out, authorities in Britain are charging two people, including him, with inviting support for the Islamic State group through lectures that were published online. The Crown Prosecution Service said today it was charging Chowdhury, 48 years old, and Muhammad Mizanur Rahman, 32 years old, for supporting Islamic State, which is a banned organization. The offenses are alleged to have occurred from June 29th, 2014 until March 6th of this year. Sue Hemming, head of the Special Crime and Counterterrorism at CPS, that's the Crown Prosecution Service, says each man is charged with one offense under the Terrorism Act of 2000. They are set to appear later today. They were set to appear later today at Westminster Magistrates Court. Chowdhury is the former leader of a banned radical group called Al-Muhajirun. Well, you knew he was going to get in trouble one of these moments. You just can't keep throwing bombs like that. And unfortunately, these were not real bombs. So you can't keep saying things like that. And you cannot keep just shouting down people and talking over people and not paying attention to what other people are saying and so on and so on. You can't do it. And it nailed him. And we'll see whether he ends up spending some time in jail, incarcerated, as they say. One of the things that we have seen in our lifetimes are reparation payments for Japanese citizens who were not interred, but they were essentially detained in the Second World War in cities that were built to detain them because of the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in an epic show of racism. The United States government said that we can't trust these people and put them behind tall fences out in the middle of nowhere and did not let them take part in the Second World War. Now, there were many divisions. There was a Nisei division that took part in Europe. But West Coast persons, Americans of Japanese descent, were immediately under huge suspicion. And these internment camps held all of them, and for that racist sin, these people were paid like $25,000, as I recall, each of them. We are in a situation where there is another population in our midst who, well, are suffering from, shall we say, government intrusion. A small plane seen flying near the Manassas Regional Airport in Manassas, Virginia, is part of a fleet of surveillance aircraft operated by the FBI. Robert Snell of the Detroit News analyzed flight data that shows a single-engine 2010 Cessna tied to the Federal Bureau of Investigation by an Associated Press investigation this June spent a good amount of time in the skies above the Muslim-concentrated city of Dearborn, Michigan, this weekend. Robert Snell tweeted out, FBI spy plane zeroes in on Dearborn. The flight data showed the airplane on Saturday and Sunday making 19 slow-speed, several-mile-wide loops above Dearborn, as well as the neighboring cities of Allen Park, Melvindale, Dearborn Heights, and Taylor. Quote, the FBI is operating a small air force with scores of low-flying planes across the country, carrying video equipment and, at times, cell phone surveillance technology. Stingray, remember we talked about that? It's essentially a briefcase-sized piece of electronic gear that spoofs your phone into believing that it is in contact with another tower and downloads all of its data. These aircraft and the cell phone surveillance technology, all of this being hidden behind fictitious company names that are fronts for the government of the United States. The Associated Press identified 100 flights in 11 states over a 30-day period this spring connected to FBI surveillance. It's unclear if the weekend flights over Dearborn and neighboring cities were routine or in response to a threat. The FBI denied it conducted targeted spy missions at all. Quote, contrary to the suggestion of some recent media reporting, the FBI does not employ aviation assets to conduct mass surveillance nor to target specific communities. This, according to the FBI director of the Detroit field office, Paul M. Abate. Neither does the FBI monitor lawfully protected First Amendment activity. Further, the FBI Detroit field office is not aware of any specific or credible threats within the local Detroit metropolitan area. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit and the FBI declined to give comment on to the Detroit News. Dearborn, a city of nearly 100,000, has a large Muslim population with over 40% of its residents claiming Arab ancestry in the 2010 U.S. Census. And man, do they know how to party. Whoa. The AP investigation found FBI program planes tied to at least 13 fake companies and said even basic aspects of the program are being withheld from the public. Snell reports the planes, tracked this weekend by the Detroit News, are registered to OTV Leasing of Bristow, Virginia, listing a post office box in Bristow as its address. So, that's not your basic ringing denial that the FBI is not surveilling Dearborn, Michigan, Dearborn Heights. Yes, they denied it, but I don't think their hearts were really in it. And so what I want to do is I want to ask you this. If indeed FBI spy planes are flying over and surveilling Muslim enclaves in the United States, is that okay? Yes or no, and why? 866-660-5759. If the FBI is using air assets to spy on Muslim communities, is that okay? Yes or no, and why? 866-660-5759. Trying to figure out whether or not it's okay that the FBI may be spying on Muslim communities. Is that okay? There are a lot of reasons to say no. A lot of reasons to say no. There are a lot of reasons to say yes. But whether we say yes or no, it's happening. And what I'm trying to figure out is, should we be okay with that? Are we okay with that? I don't know what kind of data they're able to collect from those airplanes. I'm assuming a pretty good amount. Now, if these people are in their yards, do they have an expectation of privacy to be protected in their yards? You would think. And so if indeed those civil liberties are returned with appropriate and flowery apologies, or is what we're doing taking our eyes off of a pressure cooker bomb factory? Again, how do we know? One way or another. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I hope that what ends up happening is that it slowly de-escalates until it's nothing. But I just don't see that happening. Especially when we keep hearing things like Arab Muslim males. Apparently Muslim males are showing up at the houses of our military members, the families and such. And what I'm really concerned about is at the very minimum, that is completely untoward. And more important than untoward, it is flat awful. That those guys would go up and intimidate the family members of U.S. military personnel. That's awful. Let me get to Jack in Dallas, Texas. Jack, what do you think? Is it okay with you? Should it be okay with us that the FBI is flying essentially spy aircraft over Muslim communities?
Hey, it's nice to meet you. I think that it's definitely okay with our current political climate in the Middle East. You can't disconnect these people from their religion. Sure, maybe they're not violent members of their religion, but with what we're seeing in the Middle East and the problems that radical Islam has brought to America with ISIS, it's obvious that our best odds of catching any sort of acts of terrorism is by looking into Muslim communities within the United States. I don't think that we're taking too harsh of an intrusion yet, but I think that it could become that way. I just think that moderate surveillance is definitely okay with our current political climate.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that, Jack. Good call. 866-660-5759, and welcome to the Wells Report family. It's good to have you here, man. Is it okay that the FBI may be surveilling Muslim communities in the United States? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Is it okay? There are a lot of reasons. Like I said, there are a lot of reasons why it's not. I'll go through some of those next. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Wednesday night in progress in North Texas. And the Wells Report is on.
Call 267-8433 because the next best thing to do is Dalworth Clean.
Hi, Cheryl here for Dalworth Clean. And you've been hearing the Dalworth jingle for almost 40 years. And when you hear it, you probably think carpet cleaning. But Dalworth offers so much more. Dalworth can clean and restore every type of flooring in your home, including natural stone floors like marble, travertine, and slate. The combination of traffic and soil take their toll over time, robbing your stone floor of its original luster and natural beauty. Dalworth can clean, polish, and seal natural stone floors and return them to a like-new appearance for a fraction of the cost of replacement. Whether you want a high-gloss finish or a matte finish, we can create the look that's just right for you. This week, save $100 on stone polishing with any job of 200 square feet or more. So call Dalworth today and find out why it's really true. The next best thing to new is Dalworth Clean. Or visit us at dalworth.com where you can make your appointment 24/7.
If you're thinking about new windows for your home, here's what you have to consider. A quality-minded company that's been in business for a long time that'll be here if you need them in the future. That offers several options for you to choose from with a good warranty and a fair price. Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, co-owner of Statewide Remodeling, and I'm happy to say my company meets all those requirements. We've been installing new windows in Texas homes for over 21 years. Our restoration windows with their fiber core frames are 8 times stronger than hollow core vinyl and twice as strong as any composite frame. The exterior can be finished to match any color Sherwin-Williams offers, and we have 27% more glass area, so you don't lose near the visibility you do with other window brands. We also offer 100% financing to fit almost any budget. If you call now for your free estimate, I'm offering a 20% discount on your complete window and door project. Of course, your price is good for 30 days, so you have time to think it over or shop around. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095, or visit us online at statewideremodeling.com.
Let's make an offer on that Aspen Street house.
That one doesn't have a home warranty.
Is that a problem?
Not if you like paying through the nose on home system breakdowns.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like if the air conditioner quits, want to pay for a new one? Do you know how to fix the water heater, the plumbing?
Got it. Let's only look at places with home warranties.
A home warranty from American Home Shield protects homeowners against unexpected covered repairs and breakdowns of major home systems and appliances. Who would want to move into a new home without one? Just ask your local real estate professional. Or for complimentary helpful information about a home warranty from American Home Shield, call now at 1-800-771-2898. Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade called. Some exclusions and limitations apply. An American Home Shield home warranty instantly gives home buyers confidence in their purchase. For complimentary helpful information, including terms, rates, and coverage, call 1-800-771-2898. 1-800-771-2898.
Pop quiz for all business owners. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, which one of these can you lose? Your home, your car, or your life savings? The answer? All three. Because if you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued, it's you too, which means you could lose everything. Once business owners realize the risk of not being incorporated, they usually scramble to incorporate or form an LLC.
To make it quick and easy, Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners, so you can incorporate in just 10 minutes. For your free 10-minute incorporation guide, call now 1-800-733-1035. Protect your financial future. At Incorporate.com, they don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide. 1-800-733-1035. Hurry while supplies last. 1-800-733-1035. That's 1-800-733-1035.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis from my friends at Good Feet, America's #1 arch support. And that invites the question, who needs arch supports? Answer is more people than you think. Do your feet hurt at the end of a day? That's not just the way life is supposed to be. You should have arch support where your feet feel great even at the end of a long day of walking. If your feet hurt at the beginning of the day, man, you got all kinds of issues and they can be helped. You can get out of pain with arch support. It could be structural misalignment, plantar fasciitis, kind of a foot alignment, supination, overpronation, all these technical things that they know about at Good Feet. And what you'll know is you can walk in pain. You can limp in and walk out pain-free. This happens with so many people. I want to send everybody to goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com, Plano, Fort Worth, Southlake. Absolutely fantastic people. No shots, no medicine, no surgery, just relief from pain. So get out of pain today. 888-660-0942, 888-660-0942, or goodfeetdfw.com. That's goodfeetdfw.com.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. A daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM. The Answer.
The FBI is operating a small fleet of small aircraft. And according to the Detroit News, the FBI is overflying Dearborn, Michigan, known for its vibrant Muslim community. Is it okay that they're being surveilled? Is it okay that they're being spied on? There are a lot of reasons why it's okay. Because we don't have any idea who the next Muslim is going to be that goes off. Getting information about people that we should be concerned about, getting information from those communities about those people, not reliable. But in the United States, there are just a few things that we hold very, very, very dear. And one of them is freedom of religion. Just because you're a Muslim doesn't mean that there's probable cause to spy on you. On the other hand, %80 of the world's terrorism perpetrated on the world by Arab Muslim males between the ages of 18 and 49. Like clockwork every year. The same stat appears. But the thing about it is that there are these very important rules we have. We have rights, constitutional rights. Many of these people are Americans, just like those interned in the Second World War in the Japanese internment camps. Those people are American citizens. They have freedom of religion. They have freedom of speech. They have freedom from unwarranted searches and seizures. If the FBI is indeed surveilling these neighborhoods in this town, what's their probable cause? And who, by the way, rules on whether or not there's enough probable cause to do an FBI overflight? You see, this is one of the problems that we have here. one of the reasons that these lone wolf attacks can be so successful is because you have rights to freely associate or not. You have a lot of freedoms here. There are a lot of things that you just can't do if you're law enforcement in the United States. And one of them might just be flying airplanes over an entire city because 40% of the people in that city are Muslim. So the FBI flying spy planes over Dearborn, Michigan? Probably not a big deal, right? Well, how are we going to feel when they fly over our towns? You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Football season is almost here. But wait, don't start daydreaming of all the afternoons camped in front of your TV watching God's sport just yet. Hear me for 1 second. Football's great, and living in Texas means you probably played it growing up. But I bet you didn't know that some kids don't have the chance like you did to play real competitive football. Kids in homeschool and private schools don't have the same opportunities to strap on the helmet. There are even some kids who just need a second chance at hitting the field. And that's why there's TACA, T-A-C-A, which is short for the Texas Alliance of Christian Athletes. Do you have a kid or know of a kid who's in this situation? If so, then go to freeminicamps.com today and register them for TACA's absolutely free football camp. Great athletes and Christ-centered coaching is what TACA is built on. Let your child grow on the field and off with TACA and its free minicamps. That's freeminicamps.com today. That's freeminicamps.com today. Hurry, because camp is right around the corner, so go to freeminicamps.com right now.
There was a lot to love about your timeshare, but when it's time to get out, there's a lot to love about resortrelease.com. Resortrelease.com helps timeshare owners terminate their contracts and end all future payments guaranteed. Imagine how great it would feel to end all legal responsibility and never pay another timeshare fee. If you've tried to sell your timeshare, you know how impossible it can feel. Our 100% guarantee lets you legally and permanently walk away, or you pay nothing. ResortRelease.com holds a Better Business Bureau A+ rating. We're the only timeshare cancellation company in the nation with their prestigious accreditation. Act now and avoid 2016's maintenance fees. Talk to one of ResortRelease.com's trusted expert asset managers and see if your property qualifies at 800-281-9595. That's 800-281-9595. Experience ResortRelease.com's easy cancellation process and free yourself from the burden of that timeshare. Call 800-281-9595. 800-281-9595 or visit resortrelease.com.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. Got a question. Why is your mobile phone bill going to help Hillary become president of the United States? Answer is, same reason Big Mobile helped Obama win twice. It's what they do. Now Hillary's counting on Big Mobile to help her in 2016. If you're okay with that, don't listen further. But if you don't want to support Hillary or other leftist candidates and causes, switch to EOS Mobile. EOS Mobile. Website is EOScell, EOSCELL.com to learn more. EOS has the same great nationwide network, high-speed data, voice, pretty much everywhere across the country. EOS has the same devices you've come to love. And with plans starting at $9.99, a plan for every budget. Best of all, EOS Mobile at EOScell.com gives 5% of each bill to conservative causes and candidates. If you're stuck in a contract, they'll buy you out. If you want your phone bill to support conservative candidates, the choice is clear. EOScell.com. Learn more now at EOSCELL.com. EOScell.com. Same phones, same service, better causes. EOScell.com. EOSCELL.com.
I had the home of my dreams, but one day I noticed cracks in the wall by the front door as well as the kitchen window. A neighbor recommended Abacus Foundation Repair. He said they're the best foundation repair company in Dallas, and they use an advanced system on your foundation called Millennium Composite Pilings that'll last 1,000 years. Well, I went to their website, abacusfoundationrepair.com, and saw that they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and the world's leading service company review website recommended them highly. And the best part? They haven't had a complaint in the last 13 years. So I called them, and I'm happy I did. Abacus Foundation Repair guaranteed their work, and they gave me a lifetime transferable warranty.
If you see cracks in the walls of your home or your doors don't shut properly, call Abacus Foundation Repair at 972-406-9000. That's 972-406-9000. Or go to abacusfoundationrepair.com. If you want your foundation fixed right the first time, call Abacus Foundation Repair.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
The holiday concert of the year is returning to Dallas December 6th at American Airlines Center. Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops together again on stage performing holiday classics. Dallas's newest holiday tradition will fill American Airlines Center with the holiday spirit. Sunday, December 6th, Michael W. Smith and Amy Grant with the Dallas Pops at American Airlines Center. Tickets on sale now online at Ticketmaster.com by calling 800-745-3000 or at the American Airlines Center box office.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. There is somebody that I spend a lot of time paying attention to. Her name is Kirsten Powers. In case you don't know who Kirsten Powers is, she is she writes for USA Today. She's the author of the upcoming The Silencing. That's actually been published. We had her on the air and we talked about that book. She's also a Democrat. But she is a real Democrat. She is not a leftist political android with major issues. And she wrote something today that I want to share with you. You can find it in USA Today. Kirsten Powers, I've got news for Democrats. It's a baby. And then it goes on with the subtitle, Democrats on wrong side of history when it comes to Planned Parenthood's crimes against the innocent unborn. Democrats like to talk about the importance of being on the right side of history. This phrase was invoked frequently during the same-sex marriage debate. Yet when faced with a series of videos detailing grotesque human rights abuses against unborn children by Planned Parenthood, Democratic Party forces have eschewed all concern for historic or moral rightness. Pope Francis has correctly described the unborn as, quote, the most defenseless and innocent among us. But in the sordid tale of strategic crushing of the unborn to better harvest their hearts, lungs, and livers, many Democrats have incredibly cast an organization with roughly $1.3 billion in an annual budget in the role of the innocent and the defenseless. Hillary Clinton emerged as Planned Parenthood's highest profile protector, decrying the assault against her allegedly helpless campaign donors who support Planned Parenthood. The Democrat Party is shilling for barbarism, whether by politicians, liberal media outlets, union officials, or unrestricted abortion advocates. It's not likely to be viewed favorably by future generations. These Democrats will be remembered for demonizing the activists who lifted the veil on a previously sanitized process and for seeking restraining orders to silence the truth tellers. They will be remembered for publishing dehumanizing decrees, as the New Republic did, that people stop criticizing Planned Parenthood because, as a medical matter, the term baby doesn't apply until birth. That thing on your sonogram is nothing more than a product of conception in the Orwellian doublespeak of evil. They will be remembered for demanding investigations into citizen journalists for meticulously exposing atrocities in our midst. And Kirsten Powers then writes, I don't use the word atrocity lightly. Watching the videos exposing Planned Parenthood's practice of dickering over body parts of unborn humans, one is immediately struck by the age of fetuses, to use the medical term for what parents-to-be and gynecologists still call a baby. Lectures from the New Republic notwithstanding. According to video transcripts, Dr. Deborah Nucatola, Planned Parenthood Senior Director of Medical Services, mentions prioritizing the abortion of a 17-weeker the day before because he or she was more likely to yield what we needed. Second trimester abortions, she explained, are the cases that yield the tissues that you want, finally exposing why late-term abortions have been fought for as a matter of female liberty and freedom in the United States. Nucatola noted that 1/4 of Planned Parenthood abortions occur in the second trimester. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. 3,000 out of 12,000. Kirsten Powers writes, did you get that? Nucatola appears to be saying that 3,000 second trimester abortions occur every year in just one Planned Parenthood region. In another video, Dr. Savita Ginde, identified as Planned Parenthood's of the Rocky Mountains vice president and medical director, explains, we're doing procedures at 17 weeks, so we have fairly large identifiable body parts. She then discusses the need to train abortion doctors so they don't crush the desirable organs of these 4.5-month-old fetuses. Guess who supports second trimester abortions, barring extreme extenuating circumstances? Almost nobody. When Gallup asked in 2012 whether abortion should be legal in the second trimester, only 27% of respondents said yes. This percentage has been nearly unchanged since Gallup began asking this question in 1996. As Slate's Will Salatin noted, in a 2014 piece analyzing abortion polling, even the most pro-choice of people are not sold on abortion rights beyond the first trimester. This was the general position even prior to the release of videos demonstrating the harsh reality of such abortions. Following the meeting with Dr. Ginde, the undercover videographer is taken to a Planned Parenthood pathology lab where a medical assistant called Jess picks at an aborted fetus. I just want to see another leg with a foot, she says. Ginde chimes in, here's the heart. At one point, Dr. Ginde inexplicably murmurs, it's a baby. Even the abortionist can see it's a baby. So what's wrong with the Democrat Party? Asks Kirsten Powers. The answer is that they have lost their morality in this. This isn't about female freedom. This is about atrocities committed in the name of profit. That's all. The Democrats have no correct answers. All they can do is stop talking. They must. But they don't. Firebrand speeches by Democrat politicians on the floor of the United States Senate, forever staining that room, and in the House of Representatives, as one Democrat after another steps up to defend the righteous freedoms of females in the United States. Now admit that they have not seen the videos that have tortured my mind since they first started coming out. I can't get those pictures out of my head. It is a monument to my discipline and self-control that I can even speak about this. But I just realized I have to tell the story, because if I don't, nobody else will, because the mainstream media will not report this story. They censored the 5th video again. Censored it. Politics are too important to the mainstream media. Pursuit of the agenda for the sake of the Democrat Party at all costs is more important than anything, including people. Senator Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, the Democrat, says, no, I haven't seen these videos. I'm sorry, what's your name? Asked Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii in response to a simple yes or no question. Can you call my comms director? The question is, Senator Schatz, have you seen the Planned Parenthood videos put together by the Center for Medical Progress? Yes or no? You got to talk to my communications director. Is that okay? Senator Bob Casey of Pennsylvania. I have not seen them, no. Chuck Schumer tells his aide as he stands in an elevator after the question has been posed, shut the door. Claire McCaskill of Missouri told John McCormick, writing for the Weekly Standard, that she had not seen any of the videos. She agreed the videos were disturbing, but she added that's not the point. The point is to prevent abortions by making sure that women can get birth control. It's not working. And women can get birth control. They can get Plan B without a prescription. They don't need a doctor's prescription. They can walk up to the counter and ask for Plan B. They can't ask the age. The daughters are not compelled to tell their parents. There is no excuse here. Democrat presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton called the videos disturbing last week, but stood foursquare behind Planned Parenthood this week. She was proud to stand with Planned Parenthood. Nobody has asked her whether she's seen any of the undercover videos. I suspect that if she had, she wouldn't care. And then the Republican leadership in the Senate, they added a measure of horrifying incompetence. The measure to defund Planned Parenthood, a half-hearted gesture at trying to find some morality somewhere, failed to the tune of 6 votes or 7 votes on Monday night. Republicans are really only 5 Senate votes shy of advancing the measure because Mitch McConnell voted against it for procedural reasons. He said that a no vote allows him to bring the bill up again. I wonder if he will. He damn well better. Republican Lindsey Graham skipped the vote so he could campaign for president in New Hampshire. The tally was a big improvement from an effort in 2011 to defund Planned Parenthood that received just 42 votes. Since 2011, Republicans have gained 7 Senate seats on the net. 3 senators who voted to block the bill to defund Planned Parenthood in 2011, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and Joe Manchin, voted to allow it to proceed on Monday night. In 2007, 8 Senate Republicans opposed defunding Planned Parenthood. In 2011, 5 Senate Republicans opposed. On Monday night, just 1 Republican, Mark Kirk of Illinois, voted to filibuster the bill. He needs to be replaced. We recognize that cutting off this politically connected abortion mega marketer is a long-term project, and we are encouraged that today's tally represents a marked increase in opposition to Planned Parenthood since 2011, when only 42 senators voted to support a cutoff. This, according to the National Right to Life Committee President, Carol Tobias. MRC Newsbusters, the headline: networks censor the release of 5th Planned Parenthood baby parts video, but continue the coverage of the dentist who shot the wrong lion. Like I said, it is a corrupt and complete loss of morality and ethics. It is monstrous. Planned Parenthood is an enterprise of evil, and there just isn't any other way to say it. This is the Wells Report.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. The GOP debate Thursday night promises to be a drama and indeed fun-filled collision of 16 very diverse candidates over 2 different debates. Of course, many eyes will be on Donald Trump and Jeb Bush, the leader in fundraising. But Scott Walker, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio are also widely regarded as top-tier contenders, and there isn't a bad candidate in the bunch. The Fox News Channel hosts will have their hands full keeping the many candidates within their allocated times, and the questions precise and resistant to filibuster. But the debate signals the beginning of the end of the Obama era, which has been wildly destructive of American national interest. For that reason alone, the rising curtain on the debates ought to be cheered. I get to ask questions at the debates next month and in December and then March, and I look forward to helping GOP primary voters decide who is best positioned to face Hillary in 2016, while also helping set the issues that the general election in 2016 ought to revolve around, especially national security and the calamitous agreement with Iran. I'm Hugh Hewitt.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Manzeri, owner of Statewide Remodeling. You know, we've been getting some relief from what is usually the beginning of summer here in Texas. And right behind that, the temperature goes up, and so do your cooling bills. We manufacture our windows to beat the Texas heat. Our fiber core reinforced frames are 9 times stronger than other windows, and our glass has 27% more viewing area. We give you better than triple pane performance at a double pane price. Another thing that separates our window from all competitors is we can match our exterior frame to any color Sherwin-Williams offers. So no plain white windows here, or 3 to 4 colors to choose from. And of course, we offer the longest warranty in the industry. It even covers glass breakage and workmanship for as long as you own your home. So if you're ready to see the window that sets the standard in Texas, give us a call. And if you decide it's the one for you, receive 20% off the complete job. The number to call is 888-270-7095. That's 888-270-7095. Or check us out online 24/7 at statewideremodeling.com.
Honey, I'm really worried about our retirement funds.
Oh, me too. We lost so much value in the recession in the stock market. I'm worried we won't have enough to retire.
Jim next door told me that he had set up a new kind of IRA with the Gold Silver Group. He said how simple and safe it was. It's a private storage IRA, and we could have real gold and silver in our hands.
Really? You mean we can actually see it and touch it?
Absolutely. Jim said we could have all the benefits of an IRA to help build our retirement income. Bottom line, we would own a real tangible asset, and we would have the security of knowing we're protected no matter what the economy does. What do you think?
I think we need to find out how to get our own private storage IRA. We need to call the Gold Silver Group right now.
Are you ready to protect your future? Call 800-296-7609 now to find out how easy and safe it is to set up a private storage IRA with Gold Silver Group, and find out how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. All transactions are privately delivered and fully insured. Please call us now. 800-296-7609. 800-296-7609.
online. Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots, but doctors have discovered they're unable to reverse or control serious side effects, such as internal bleeding caused by Xarelto. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. If you or a loved one was hospitalized for any form of internal bleeding or stroke after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to a cash award and substantial financial compensation. There's limited time to file a claim, so call 800-714-0385 now. Call 800-714-0385. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-714-0385. That's 800-714-0385. Again, 800-714-0385.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360 to talk to a certified counselor.
I had heard about Trinity, so I made the call. They took care of all of my credit cards, and now I am completely debt-free.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-758-5360.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You know that in the wake of the mistaken Confederate flag dispute, people started pointing out that Thomas Jefferson, one of the framers, one of the key framers of the United States, was a slave owner. Since then, the Democrat Party has been removing Thomas Jefferson's name from the celebrations that they use for fundraising every year. They call them Jackson-Jefferson dinners or Jefferson-Jackson dinners. Over the last year, conversation has gained some more seriousness and depth, and several other states have led the way. According to Jeremy Kennedy, the party executive director, it's an event where we honor our party, our values, and our leaders. The name of the event has, and everything it signifies, should reflect those things as well. We realize that the name Jefferson Jackson does not adequately do that. Democrat parties around the country have long titled their annual dinners Jefferson Jackson, but there's been a recent move away from the name. He was one of the greatest presidents ever. Why in heaven's name would you take his name off of your party? Political correctness, distancing the Democrat Party from the original framers of the Constitution. That is the answer. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Stifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is Jon-David Wells. Have a great evening. I'll see you again tomorrow night for another edition of the Wells Report.
Dennis Prager believes the left will leave no stone unturned.
How impossible it has become to avoid leftism. There is nothing that is freed from their tentacle. They must intrude everywhere. The arrogance of people on the left is so deep because they know better.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hi, this is Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report for my good friend Walt Parker. Walter, you know, you picked kind of a silly name.